Discover how some of the top executives are trading their own companies with our Insider Trades tool. See who's been buying or selling stock and what their trades say about insider sentiment. Use this unique big data tool to make more informed stock trades. That's higher trading from MarketsX.
Good day, good morning, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another busy week in the markets with Dot Financial News. Happy Monday, everyone. My name is Andrew, and this is what's happening in the markets today, 20th of September, 2021. Let's start with the U.S. Indices, guys. The sell-off continues as the U.S. stock markets are expected to open sharply lower today, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 500 tanking a hefty 1.4 and 1.6% respectively before the opening bell. The tech-heavy Nasdaq didn't get away either, pointing to a 1% drop just before the opening bell today. Crude oil WTI also traded lower today on the European trading session, touching briefly the $70 mark as the Gulf of Mexico is reopening for business this week and resuming production. On Friday, Baker Hughes' rig count had showed a total of 512 active rigs in the week to September 17th, which is the highest since April 2020, and double the level from the same time in 2020. At the same time, less than 500,000 barrels a day of output is now missing in the Gulf of Mexico, with 77% of production back online. The euro and the pound traded lower today on the European trading session, even though the energy crisis in Europe seems to be easing off. Lower demand from UK power generators is also taking the edge off EU gas futures, although signs of stress in the system continue. Pertibria, Spain's largest ammonia producer, will delay the reopening of two plants after scheduled maintenance while gas prices remain so high, and also Norway's Yara said it will cut its European ammonia production by 40%. Moving on, the US dollar index looks stronger today, pushing higher towards the 93.50 on the European trading session, but all eyes will be on the FOMC meeting this Wednesday and, of course, the interest rate decision. So get ready for some volatility this week. With this being said, gold futures are headed to a $50 drop from last week, touching $1,743 an ounce earlier in the session. And in the cryptocurrency markets, Bitcoin and Ethereum both tanked heavily over the weekend, giving back about $3,000 to $4,000, and currently Bitcoin is trading just around the $44,000 mark, and also Ethereum took a breather today, giving back some gains and falling below the $3,000 mark. Just before we get started, I want to rest assure everyone that anything you hear or see during our live broadcast does not represent investment advice, nor a solicitation to buy or sell cryptocurrencies or contracts for difference. Financial instruments are complex products that carry high risk, so you better do your own analysis before making any investment decision based on your own personal circumstances. From Europe to South Africa, from Limassol to Cape Town and London, this is Dot Financial News. US markets open. Coming up. Good day, good morning, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the U.S. markets open on this beautiful Monday, 20th of September, 2021. We have a lot of things to talk about today. We have a lot of things going on in the economic calendar this week. But first, let's welcome my co-presenter from the sunny South Africa, Reiaan Hobson, joining us after an amazing weekend. And he's bringing us more news about the financial markets. Reiaan, a big welcome and happy Monday to you. How are you doing?
Happy Monday. Good afternoon. It's good on this side.
How is the South African rand doing today, Reiaan? What's happening on your side of the markets?
I must say I'm a bit surprised with the rand actually show some resilience with all the mess that is actually currently happening in China. Normally you would see the rand trade lower with all the bad news that came from China this morning, where Evergrande was missing actually a bond repayment. And I thought we will look at the default, or people's going to scream default, and then the rand would collapse and things would be a bit messy for the rand. But funny enough, the rand was fairly resilient, although it lost its ground from the 1st of September, I would say, until now. But for all the bad news that's coming from Asia, or especially from China, the rand has been fairly firm actually for the whole entire day.
Tell us more about the situation in China, Reiaan, because I know you had a talk show about it. When was it? About an hour ago, and you brought us a lot of useful insights. What's happening with China?
The whole story starts with Evergrande, and the company is a huge construction company. And the company actually was building 600,000 units per year. So you can imagine the amount of steel, copper, all those industrial materials that they need to build all these units. And
yes,
these guys are currently now 300 billion in debt, and it looks like they will not pay it back. They did some very funny things for the last few years, building electric cars. They didn't even sell one. And then they had a water bottle company, which they needed to sell off. But the main thing is about the construction. And now there's about over 1 million people that actually gave them deposits for their units, and the units is nowhere to be found. So the whole entire Evergrande story is an absolute mess, and which is actually sending shockwaves through the markets across the world. Now, this is definitely China's Lehman's brother situation. If the Chinese government is doing absolutely nothing to intervene, listen, it's going to be a shockwave for the rest of the world. But I think the Chinese government don't want to intervene into Evergrande, because it is a dead story for Evergrande. The company has 300 billion of debt. Their buildings are basically collapsing. That is what they blew up actually over the weekend in China. So I think the Chinese government is just going to let it fry. That is what maybe it's possible that's going to happen. Let the thing crash and let it correct itself.
Right. Okay. It's big indeed. What's happening? We saw similar situations with the situation in China all over the world. Okay, all over the world, you're gonna have not times a year. Every few years, you're gonna have a good time for construction, and the construction companies will try and take advantage, of low prices, building skyscrapers very fast. Now, unfortunately, the quality, leaves a lot of doubt. Okay, but you see it all over the world. Now, unfortunately or fortunately on this one, it was China's turn to get such a big hit from the housing market. But we saw the housing market with big issues in Australia a couple of years ago. Yeah, we saw the housing market in Canada and also in the US, and on the other side of the pond as well. Yeah, in the UK. Yeah, we saw the housing market doing well and doing not so well time to time. So hopefully the situation will pass, and the impact on the retail people, on the average people, will not be so dramatic, let's say. Today, gossip of the day, quick, before Neil Wilson join us. We have a big day in the financial markets today. The DAX 30, the German index, starting today has become the DAX 40. 10 new companies are joining the DAX starting today. How awesome is that? Come on, you're speechless. Give me something.
It is not awesome at all. What could be a surprise?
Right.
Is it tech companies are coming from Germany?
No, hold your thoughts on this one. For this, I have Neil Wilson joining us at Marcus.com. Okay, so stay with us for a few minutes, Reiaan, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Right, ladies, gentlemen, traders, the time has come. Let's welcome Neil Wilson, Chief Market Analyst at Marcus.com from the heart of London, to give us the latest insights about the DAX 30 and the companies in its constituency. Neil, very good afternoon to you. How are you?
Hi. Yeah, very well, thanks. How are you?
Happy Monday. I'm great today. Funny enough, Friday I wasn't so well. Thanks for asking. But today I'm doing great. So, big day on the financial markets. The DAX 30 starting today has become the DAX 40. What companies, what new companies are we looking at, Neil?
Well, they're just taking the next 10 from the DAX, the DAX 60 or DAX 50 or something. So they're just taking the next 10 largest companies. There's the likes of Puma, which is like the what you might call the evil twin of Adidas. It's we're not talking about anything particularly groundbreaking here. You've got various spin-off, the Siemens spin-off. You've got Porsche, which owns Volkswagen. It's not exactly revolutionary. Let's put it like that. Maybe you look at HelloFresh. That's been a good success story, a good tech success story for the German market. But in itself, the addition of 10 members doesn't really. I don't think it really amounts to hill of beans. I think. It maybe affects the way people view it slightly, but I don't think so. I don't think it brings any additional diversification to the index, particularly. There's not a significant change in the way that what qualifies for the market. There are some changes in terms of the sort of turnover that's required and so on, but we're not talking significant changes here. I feel like it's a bit like if you turn the FTSE 100 into the FTSE 120. It's not amounting to hill of beans.
It is not, but for those 20 companies, that would join the FTSE 120, it's a big deal. Also, we had a few companies leaving the DAX last year, if I'm not mistaken. We had the Lufthansa leaving the DAX. Am I right? Because I can't remember the exact name of the company, but I know there was a big airliner that left.
I think obviously Lufthansa had a very difficult year, like all the airlines did last year. And actually, yesterday it's announced a capital call of about 2 billion euros in order to repay the state aid they received during the pandemic. So the shares were actually trading higher today off the back of that. I think signs that really the medium-term outlook for airlines maybe is improving. The fact that they're able to go down that line of raising fresh capital to repay state aid, they don't necessarily have to do that just yet. So that's a sign of confidence, and I think the market likes that. And we're seeing travel restrictions are starting to loosen up a bit in Europe, particularly in the UK. We're doing away with the amber, the red, amber, green light system, and it's going to be much simpler for people to travel abroad, or at least it's going to be much simpler for people to get back to Britain. I'm not sure what the rules are country by country in terms of arriving, but certainly there's a sort of looser travel arrangements, and that's good for Lufthansa.
Right. What to expect from the new companies in the DAX? I mean, how much? I know you said a few minutes ago the DAX won't be heavily affected by this, but come on, we have 10 new companies, big companies, with big bucks, big budgets coming into the DAX 40. What to expect from the DAX from now on? Should we see a bit more volatility? What to expect from it?
I think you might expect just a tad less volatility, maybe. You've got a broader base of companies, but the problem is that they're all very correlated sort of companies. We're dealing with these big industrials, chemicals, manufacturing businesses, with the exception of HelloFresh. They're all deeply correlated to the global economy and German exports. That's one of the reasons why we don't think it's that big a deal for the index itself, is because you're not bringing in much fresh blood. Although it's 10 new companies, it's not really fresh blood per se. Like I say, exception maybe is HelloFresh. That's a good tech story there. But you're bringing in companies that are spin-offs of existing DAX companies. They're companies that have tight or close relations with some of them. And I'm just not convinced that it's going to make a difference to the index itself. Like, if you're a trader and you're DAX trader, then obviously you're among quite a healthy group of people who trade. And I don't think it's going to make a vast difference to the way the index moves. I still think you're still going to get the nice sort of technical setups that you're used to in the DAX. Maybe for some of the actual companies involved, it helps. It may help with some sort of capital inflows, some flows into those companies in terms of their stock prices that might net out to actually benefit the DAX because of you're bringing in new blood. They index trackers, funds that are tracking the DAX and need to buy those shares, and then they actually end up buying some of those shares as well, and that sort of becomes it's not a zero-sum game. It should be a zero-sum game, but it maybe isn't a zero-sum game, and maybe actually it sees the index rally. But it's a pretty inauspicious start today with the index down sort of 2.7%.
That would have been my next move. Let's have a quick look at the DAX charts and see how the DAX, the good old DAX, moved today after the listing. There we go. We see the DAX trading to the downside. Funny enough, 15,069 current market price on investing.com. Shouldn't we expect the price to go up?
Well, I mean, I think today, obviously today we're dealing with a massive sell-off across global equity markets. So, I mean, it's just bad time. I'm making a bit of a joke really with the DAX. It's just bad timing for that particular story. But it's clearly we're seeing a big sell-off today. Chinese contagion risks being maybe the spark. But I think you've had a setup for some time now. We saw the selling start to take place post that jobs report. And really, you've got a setup here for a bit of a correction. We're at a point where the Fed is technically not tightening, but it's certainly not loosening policy. It's looking to taper. You've got inflation being a lot stickier than people had thought, and you have the sort of past peak growth, past peak earnings growth kind of situation, and all that. Whilst you're hitting record highs on the US indices and close to record highs for the European ones lately as well. So it's not been a perfect setup. I think technically it's been a setup that's been calling for a correction, and a lot of people have been expecting that correction around that US options, that options expiry that we saw on the 19th on Friday, that sort of would cause some volatility. And I think September, October are traditionally quite volatile. So, there's been lots of things playing out here. You've also got general election in Germany that causes, starts to call into question the sort of Merkel legacy. What do we get post-Merkel? A lot of uncertainty there about what it means for the European project. And that obviously had big implications for equity markets, for bond markets in Europe. And there's clearly a spillover into indices like the DAX.
Right. And now one last question, because I know you're going to have to be on another interview shortly. Right. The US dollar index today, this week, we have a big week in the markets. On Wednesday, we're going to have the FOMC meeting and the interest rate decision. What should we expect from the US dollar index this week? This is a chart with the US dollar index on a 4-hour chart. We saw it rallying last week and closing the week very high, somewhere around the 93.44. Yeah, and we can see it pulling back a bit today as we get closer to the opening bell, the U.S. opening bell. Do you have any forecast for the U.S. dollar for the week, Neil?
Well, I mean, I sort of stick to what I was saying. I think last week, very, very likely to see this sort of near-term strength, but ultimately see it turn weaker into the year end. I worry that, the Fed's position is going to see the dollar soften from this sort of region. I think what we're seeing is a bit of a spike on kind of risk-off sentiment, and the dollar often catches that tailwind off the back of that. But I think once we see this sort of corrective move in the market play out, and we could have a bit more, we could have a bit further to go. I think a 10% correction for the S&P, that's possible. That's what we got in September 20, October 20. That would take us back to, I think, 4,100 or something like that on the S&P. That would be a very steep drop, and then you see the dollar rally in tandem with that move lower. But then I think you start to see things come back, and you start to see equity markets start to rally, and the dollar start to pull back again.
Right. Okay, I'm with you. Well, fingers crossed for Wednesday to see what's going to happen with the dollar. And thank you so much for today. I'll talk to you again in a couple of days, and good luck to the next interview, Neil.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye.
Have a good one. Take care. Right, ladies, gentlemen, traders, we had Neil Wilson bringing us the latest news from London, from Markets.com's headquarters. Bear with us for exactly 60 seconds, and then we're going to come back live with Reiaan Hobson and with more news about the most traded assets of the week. Stay tuned. We're coming back live in exactly 60 seconds. Right, beautiful advert, beautiful advert, ladies and gentlemen. Right, it's time to welcome back my good colleague Reiaan Hobson and have a quick look at the economic calendar together and see what's going to happen this week. We're only 5 minutes ahead of the opening bell on this beautiful Monday. So, Reiaan, welcome back. Are you ready for the economic calendar?
Absolutely.
100%. Okay. Let's have a quick look at the economic calendar. There we go. Yeah, we can see public holiday today in the economic calendar for, what's that? Japan, China, and also South Korea. So no wonder we had a slower trading session overnight. We had the German Producer Price Index announced nice and early this morning. 1.5% was the outcome versus a forecast of only 0.8%. So we're looking at numbers coming out almost double from Germany in terms of Producer Price Index. And basically, this is it until 2200 hours GMT plus 3. Tonight, when we're going to have the Canadian federal elections, that should cause a bit of a shake-off on the USD CAD pair. Let's see what's going to happen tomorrow. Again, we're going to have China in a holiday, South Korea in a holiday as well. Okay, so not a lot of movement will be expected overnight on the Asian trading session, but we're going to have a cascade of news. We're going to have the industrial trends orders on the British pound announced at 1 o'clock GMT plus 3 tomorrow. And at 3:30 GMT plus 3, we're going to have building permits, current account for the second quarter, housing starts, okay, and the new housing price index announced on the Canadian dollar. Obviously, just before midnight, we're going to have the API weekly crude oil stock, which will announce the crude oil inventories, which Reiaan Hobson is expecting Wednesday by Wednesday. Right, Reiaan, since Wednesday, it's going to be your favorite event. Please tell us what's expected to happen in the economic calendar on Wednesday.
The main focus will be definitely the FOMC meeting. I think the market will literally sit still just for the FOMC meeting. I actually, on the other side, on the inventories, there's one where you have the Baker's Hughes inventories that actually, sorry, not inventories, but oil rigs that starts to increase. And then you still have 71% of the production of the Gulf of Mexico that it came back. So it's a high possibility that we might see another drawdown in the oil inventories in the United States because things are not actually as much upstream as what we anticipate. On the other side, the oil prices are actually tanking. So there's a lot of speculation that goes on. It could be the story of China. It could be the oil rigs that are back on. So that's why the oil prices are actually going down. But one thing in particular that literally raised my eyebrows last week was the retail sales of the United States, where there was a 5.3% increase in the non-retail sector, which now goes to the companies of Amazon. So which means people are chilling at home, they are not going out. And that for me says, whoa, there's something going on with the oil price because you need movement. People need to travel, people need to drive before you get oil prices up. So that was actually a big question mark there.
Yes, you're right. People need to move. However, we saw the airline sector reopening. We saw people traveling. We saw things kind of getting back to pre-pandemic levels. I've noticed you missed something very important in the economic calendar, which is the corporate consumer price index on the South African rand, which will be announced Wednesday morning, and it's expected to come out 0.2% and 0.3% respectively. How is it? You said the South African rand is doing okay-ish this time. Do you expect any movement from the core CPI on Wednesday?
There's a high possibility of movement there. We had actually quite a lot of oil prices, or I would say gas prices, that actually increased in South Africa. Also, the other thing, we had a 15% increase in electricity. Also, that was in July. And normally these data come late onto the statistics of PPI and CPI numbers. And also we have terrible meat prices. I mean, the lamb is costing through the roof. Meat prices have been very sticky. So basic stuff in South Africa is becoming very expensive. And also stuff that we normally don't pay attention to also became now expensive. And I think definitely there's a high possibility that that inflation number might surprise South Africa to the upside and will also bring a shock wave to the Reserve Bank because they think of lifting the interest rates up 4 times. For now, 1 this year and 3 times next year.
Right. You know what they used to say in communism? It's a bad joke, but you know me. What they used to say in communism when people were complaining that a product is too expensive and they can't afford it. So like you said a minute ago, lamb is too expensive. What is lamb too expensive? You can't afford it. No, it's chicken's mate. You have a lot of chicken. But again, that was back in the day in communism. Right. Let's see what's happening. It's 30 minutes after 4 o'clock today. Let's have a quick look at the charts and see how the markets opened on this beautiful Monday, 20th of September 2021. I'm going to start with crude oil WTI. Bear with me for just a second. Right. There we go. Right. There we go. Crude oil WTI. Okay. We are exactly 1 minute into the U.S. trading session. We see crude oil WTI futures trading at $70.72, a bit of a push to the upside in the last couple of hours, as you can see on the charts for crude oil. We see the euro apparently pushing to the downside, 117.14. We saw the euro tanking the entire European trading session today. Now the U.S. markets have opened, and we see no buying power on the euro. But maybe this buying power will come in the next couple of minutes or so. RSI stochastic in the overbought sections, they're trying to correct, but all the signs for now are pointing to a downtrend, a negative opening for the euro and the pound. Let's see what's happening with the pound today at the opening bell, 136.70 for the pound, which again has been tanking the entire European trading session. We might see a bit of buying. We might see a bit of a retest of that 50 moving average to the upside around the 137.41 for the pound. And for the euro, if the euro will decide to move towards the upside, yeah, we might see the euro retesting that level at 117.41, where that 50 moving average is. Right, let's see what's happening with the dollar minutes after the US opening bell. 109.59 for USD JPY. We see a positive opening, or just some long orders are coming on the markets now that the US markets are open. 109.58 pushed to the upside in the last half an hour for USD JPY. This is it for now. Let's see what's happening with the Aussie dollar, which is moving to the upside, just like the euro and the British pound. We can see a bit of buying power happening, and that 50 moving average that I was showing you on the euro pair and on the pound pair, yeah, seems to be making a lot of sense. At 0.7270 is very likely where the first take profit target will be set by traders that decide to go long on the Aussie dollar. USD CAD trading to the downside 2 minutes into the US trading session. 128.24 for USD CAD. RSI stochastic turning around from the overbought levels. A bit of a correction is expected looking at technical analysis. And again, I'm going to keep an eye on that yellow line, which is the 50 moving average. And we might see that 50 moving average being retested by the USD CAD. 127.50 is the exchange rate to have in mind. 128.29.28 is the current market price. What do you reckon, Reiaan? So far, so good?
So far, so good. And I also look at that ugly hammer there on a 1 hour candle there. It's a heavy selling candle there. It's very ugly. And I think you're right. It can have possibility of moving back to the 50-day EMA.
Yeah, a retest, which is absolutely normal. Yeah, looking at the indicators at the bottom and seeing this rally, this tremendous rally that the US dollar had last week, towards the end of last week. Okay, people that got long on the dollar down there are probably now cashing out. Okay, so it makes sense to see a bit of a pullback. Now, I'm glad you're sitting. Let's have a quick look at the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones. There we go. Yeah, negative opening, big tank for the S&P 500. $4,370.51, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which tanked over 500 points today, 1.6% drop for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Yeah, we see it opening at 34,000, just below 34,000. This was the price after the opening, 33,987.10. Okay, 34,071.27 current market price. Yes, Reiaan. How disappointed are you?
I'm not. I'm so glad I'm not with indices. I'm more with your FX and commodities. I just looked at him, and that's it.
Right. There is a good news, though. I mean, we saw the sell-off continuing. Yeah, regarding the Dow Jones Industrial Average, okay, there might be a good news. We see the price somehow well supported by the 200 MA.
Correct.
Okay, this is the good news. Now, if we're going to see the price action falling sharply below the 200 MA, then we might be looking at a severe sell-off. Yeah, until then, looking at the price, everything seems to be under control, okay, as the price did not manage to fall below the 200 moving average. But still, the pressure is on. Okay, what worries me about the S&P 500 is that we have a long way to go to that 200 moving average.
Ooh, you're absolutely right. That is quite a long one.
That is a long one, but in terms of the Dow Jones, we can see it retesting that MA. Also, we see here at the top that the Dow Jones was losing ground. Okay, it was losing the buying power. It did not manage to create higher highs, and instead it started melting a bit.
Absolutely, and that's a bit of a sign of relief for a lot of traders on the Dow Jones. But when you look at the S&P, if S&P starting to sink, then normally you would think the Dow would also go, and also the possibility of the Nasdaq as well.
Yeah, on a 1 hour chart, I am a bit worried because I see this dead cross forming between the two moving averages. Yeah, looking at the RSI and stochastic way into the oversold levels. So everything points to a massive sell-off in terms of the S&P and the Dow.
Yeah, no, that will actually rattle the market if that happens.
Let's see. Some people are lucky enough to be shorting these indices since Friday. So I'm really curious how they're doing now. Anyway, let's move on. Let's see what's happening with Apple. $144.25 for Apple a few minutes into the US trading session. Negative opening for Apple. And apparently this death cross that we saw there between the 50 and the 200 MA says a lot about the stock markets. Amazon opened to the downside, dropping below that 200 moving average. 3393.68 current market price. Again, both indicators pointing downwards, indicating a sharp sell-off. Let's see what's happening with NVIDIA. Again, same opening to the downside for NVIDIA, $212.81 as we speak, again, with both indicators pointing to the downside. And we see the price action falling below the 200 moving average. So the game is on. The US dollar index seems to be settling above 93.30, okay, 93.32 current market price. We see the candlesticks consolidating there in that region. Okay, so that weakness on the US dollar index has not come just yet. Once again, looking at it from the technical point of view, if we were to look at the markets using the Elliott waves, okay, the 5 consecutive movements, of which 3 happen to the upside and 2 happen to the downside. Yeah, we can consider this the first 2 movements. We can see the third leg, pushing higher. Bit of a correction happening here. And from here on, if the technical analysis is right on this one, we're going to see a 5th leg to the upside, pushing the US dollar index above the 93,500 level. Yes, Reiaan.
And that will be devastating for the equities and also for the indexes, also for commodities as well.
If that's the case, very likely. If that's the case, we're going to see the sell-off continuing on the stock markets, and we might see the sell-off continuing on commodities as well. But what do we know, Reiaan? If gold, the US dollar index goes up, what's happening with gold?
Going down.
There we go. Sharp sell-off, sharp sell-off for gold. $1,757.45 today after the opening bell. In other words, gold dropped about $50 from Friday, from last week, when it was trading above one. Exactly. So hold on to that wedding ring, Reiaan. Don't go to the
Definitely, I will.
Right. Let's see what's happening with Brent oil futures, or the European oil, or the UK oil, which is currently trading at $74.55. We see the RSI stochastic pointing upwards. We saw a bit of a correction happening. Price action moved above the 200 moving average. A bit of resistance there from the 50 MA at 74.85, 74.87. But if that level will be broken, then probably Brent oil futures will resume the uptrend. Silver, on the other hand, is copying gold, trading to the downside. What a big drop for silver and gold we had in the last few days. $22.32 for silver. And by the looks of it, RSI stochastic are still pointing downwards. Okay, the sell-off might continue for silver and gold today. Tesla opened to the downside, $735.98. That's all I'm going to say about Tesla today.
I was waiting for something.
I know you were, and probably the entire world was. But it's Monday, guys. I'm trying to be zen today. I'm trying to be in a good mood. And don't pick on Tesla and Elon Musk for sending people to space. I said I'm not going to say it. What do you want from me? I'm not going to pick on Facebook for impacting my business directly and other hundreds of businesses after they changed their advertising policies. All I'm going to say about Tesla and Facebook today is that Tesla is currently trading at $735 and dropping. Well, what can you do? And Facebook opened to the downside as well, trading now at $359.99. Yeah, $306.32. Yeah, they are trying to prove me wrong, basically, and showing that their modified advertising policies are helping the business. Not. Let's move on. It's time. It's that time of day when I'm absolutely lovely. So Alibaba opened to the downside, $153.74 for the Alibaba group. And Bitcoin, guys, I know, Reiaan, you are absolutely devastated by this drop in Bitcoin. $43,845 for Bitcoin after Bitcoin lost over $4,000 in only 2 days.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I know you're happy. And Ethereum also gave back about $600 since Friday. Is currently trading just above the $3,000 mark, $3,055.16 for Ethereum. Okay, so we seem to be looking at red markets open. Will this continue till Friday is the question. What do you reckon?
Yeah, but with all the sell-off with China and everything, I'm actually surprised. When is the last time you hear about or heard about Jack Ma?
When he stepped down, basically, and he's enjoying his billions of dollars, God knows where, in some 5-star, 7-star location. This is it. Since Jack Ma stepped down, we saw a bit of a shake-off in Alibaba. Now,
Exactly.
it's also time for your favorite time of day, which is the cryptocurrencies news. Are you ready?
Yeah, it's Sushi Swap.
So there we go. Something from last week. You know what Sushi Swap is? Okay, so stay with us. We're gonna come back in 30 seconds or 1 minute or so with the latest crypto news. We're gonna do a roundup of last week and see who are the market gainers and winners of this beautiful Monday. Stay tuned, beautiful people. Right, and we're back with cryptocurrencies, Reiaan's favorite time of day. But now, seriously, we had a nice chat on Friday about cryptocurrencies. You've learned something new. What's your view on cryptocurrencies? Still definite no?
The only thing that was interesting is the names, which is now the Sushi Swap that came in. Other than that, nothing else.
All right. Right, let's have a quick look at the markets and see who are the top gainers and losers in the cryptocurrency markets on this beautiful Monday, 20th of September, 2021. As you can see, guys, I'm using Coinbase. The pricing is provided by Coinbase. Coinbase is not sponsoring these broadcasts. Okay, so if anything, blame it on me, not on them. So overall, we can see the market is down 7.8%. The entire crypto market is down in the last 24 hours, 7.8%. We see the top gainer in the last 24 hours being Celo, which marked a gain of 8.2%. The highest volume in the last 24 hours was given by Bitcoin. Okay, we have a new listing, which is Shiba Inu, okay, which is worth less than 0.01 cents. It was added on September 17th. And the most visited one was Oh My God Network, which exactly, yeah. I mean, they had almost 1,000% increase in views, and I'm not surprised because it's called Oh My God Network. Right. Top losers in the last 24 hours. We saw the crypto markets not doing very well. Okay, and the top loser. Do you remember Brain Trust, Reiaan?
Yep, I do remember him.
Yeah, it's an it.
Brain Trust is like a human, like a brain.
Yes, it's the one that had a gain of 300%, if you remember, on Friday.
Yeah, correct. You're right.
Okay, we see Brain Trust giving back some of those gains. It gave back 19.8% in the last 24 hours. DFI Money also gave back 19.5%. Mask Network gave back again 19.5% almost. Fetch.ai with the ticker FET, 18.5%. Wrapped Luna token, W Luna, gave back 18.2%. IOTEX, 18.2%. My God, I'm so happy I got rid of this one from my portfolio. REN lost 18.2%, and Orion Protocol also lost 18.1% in the last 24 hours. So we see the cryptos losing about 20%, to round it up in the last 24 hours. Let's see who the gainers are, because wherever you have losers, you have gainers as well. And this is the thing with cryptocurrencies. If sometimes you have an avalanche of gainers, today we can only mark 4 gainers for the last 24 hours. Cello, having the ticker CGLD, gained 5.1% in the last 24 hours. Tribe gained almost 2.3%. Paxos Standard gained 2.1%, and Ray Reflex Index gained only 0.14%. Okay, and I'm not kidding. If I'm scrolling down, there's nothing below this.
And it's very small gains if you compare to the losses.
Exactly. So this is the proof that cryptocurrencies markets are very volatile, and as easy as you can make 300% a day, you could also lose 20, 30, 40, 50% in less than an hour or 24 hours.
But what was the issue? What is the issue for crypto markets to go into a sell-off?
This is how it works. Everything goes into a sell-off. Crypto markets tend to follow. This is how it works. It's a new asset class. It's the fifth asset class. Yeah.
I nearly said something, so I actually couldn't came in. No, we will be banned forever if I say.
Is it regarding Elon Musk or Tesla?
I don't know.
Don't say it. Don't get me banned. Okay, right. So this is what's happening with the cryptos in the last 24 hours. Now, let's do a roundup, and see what were last week's highlights in the cryptocurrency markets. And you're going to find this very interesting, Reiaan. Check this out. Apparently, Zimbabwean minister wants citizens to embrace Bitcoin. One question. Exactly. I saw you were looking down. One question. With what money, brother? A Bitcoin is $45,000. How difficult it is to find $45,000 in Zimbabwe, Reiaan?
Maybe they're gonna dig up the gold or something. There's a lot of gold in Zimbabwe. I'm sure they're gonna dig it up, or the diamonds, or maybe plow or something. There's life in Zimbabwe. It's just that the government just wrecked that economy apart. But they have all the land in the world, very fertile, but the government is just messing it up. But to get 40,000 now, I don't know. Definitely, I don't know.
Well, that's what the president says. So, Zimbabwe's finance minister urged citizens to embrace Bitcoin payments. But so far, I don't see anything wrong with this statement. I would understand if they would say, don't embrace it. Okay, someone against it, but they want to embrace Bitcoin. Also, last week, in a bid to become a safe haven for cryptocurrency activities, the El Salvadorian government will exempt foreign investors from paying taxes to their Bitcoin profits. Well, there we go. Things are happening. I'm telling you, things are happening. Sooner or later, you're going to want a sushi swap or a Bitcoin or something.
Yeah, if I go to Zimbabwe.
Up to you. You can do it in your own country. Many people do. Right. Business intelligence firm MicroStrategy splashed another $242 million on Bitcoin. Okay, I don't know what the message is. Splashed another, lost another 242 million, or spent another. Anyway, I'm sure we can. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. But you see, the crypto markets uses some hell of wording. A new tax initiative proposed by U.S. Democrats could see cryptocurrencies added to the wash sale rules, with investors paying more on capital gains and dividend taxes. Well, we know this was basically the goal since the U.S. started embracing cryptocurrencies. They wanted to take basically the skin of investors. Right. Okay. One of the big four consulting multinationals, Ernst & Young, has opted to adopt Polygon to scale its blockchain product on Ethereum. Okay, that's good news for Polygon. Polygon should have went through the roof at that point. We see that the New York-based Magnum Real Estate Group is willing to accept a payment of $29 million in Bitcoin for a luxury residential project in Manhattan.
Not bad.
Really?
This is not bad at all. It's encouraging news.
Right. It's not bad at all. But I have one question. Two questions, actually. One, what's the point? Right. Two, will they pay tax on this since it's public and they will be accepting this hefty amount in Bitcoin?
I doubt they're going to pay taxes on it, because these guys are still battling when it gets to the rules of how they're going to tax Bitcoin in the United States. So I think that will be a clean slate deal.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Right, very curious what's happening. But again, in purchasing real estate, because, I had a video saying why you should not pay in Bitcoin, in my humble opinion. Yeah, and I gave you a few examples why. But again, this is just my humble opinion. You're more than welcome to contradict me and say I'm wrong. When it comes to Tesla, for example, yeah? Mm-hmm. I don't see the point. What's happening with your internet, Reiaan? Did you pay for it this month?
We have a stormy outside.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The internet seems to be fine now. So when it comes to Tesla, yeah, why I don't agree personally, yeah, and I can say that because I'm holding Bitcoin in my portfolio. I am a Bitcoin trader, investor, however you want to call it, and cryptocurrencies. Why? And I was a car salesman back in the day. So there you go. Breaking news to all the magazines there. Yes, guys, I was a car salesman years and years and years back. Now, from my experience and my humble training in the UK regarding car sales, a car is nothing but a depreciating lump of metal, right?
Right.
Right. Bitcoin supposedly brings you returns of 10, 20, 30, 40% a month.
Right.
Right? Or cryptocurrencies in general.
Right.
What is the point
of
buying a depreciating lump of metal with an appreciating asset?
Makes sense.
And I'm going to take it even further. Is the fiat money, obsolete? Is it gone? Aren't you getting paid in euros or dollars or naira or whatever? Why would you spend Bitcoin, which will go to 300,000 according to specialists, which will go to $1 million according to specialists? Why would you spend it now on a Tesla?
Makes sense.
As soon as you buy it, it's going to lose value. As soon as
unless Tesla increase in value, the car.
It can't. A brand new car will always depreciate in value.
I fully understand what you're saying. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe the car's engine will become valuable or something, but I fully understand what you're saying. That it will lose its value. There I agree.
To me, I wouldn't. If I own Bitcoin, a large amount of Bitcoin, I would not spend it on anything right now, because that's why I got it. Either hold it and see if it's going to go to 300 or a million or something. Yeah, spend the cash, mate. Spend the cash.
It's been losing value.
Exactly. Inflation, deflation, blah blah blah. Yeah, interest rates, this, that. When it comes to cryptocurrencies, nothing. Yeah. So I don't see the need, of making such a big transaction, $29 million in Bitcoin, to buy a luxury residential project in Manhattan. The only good thing about this is that real estate will go up as well. Okay, this is it. It doesn't depreciate, and it's in Manhattan. So I don't know. I see this just as advertising. But again, this is just me. You can spend your Bitcoins on coffee if you want.
You don't sound impressed.
I'm not impressed. I don't see the point. I mean, I know a large mansion was purchased a couple of years ago in Bitcoin in somewhere in Saudi Arabia or UAE or something. Okay, so what? Someone had a lot of Bitcoin and someone took his Bitcoin away. Yay, that's it. I don't see any other at this stage, okay, with these fluctuations.
Absolutely.
And again, they might lose a tremendous amount of money, man. I mean, think about it. We sign a deal today for $29 million. Yeah? $29 million. You pay me in Bitcoin. Right. Tomorrow, Bitcoin drops by 10%.
It's true.
Yeah, that's $2.9 million loss in 24 hours if Bitcoin goes down 10%.
I agree.
Wow. Okay, maybe I'm just crazy, man. Maybe I don't see it and everyone else sees the truth. But I don't see how paying in Bitcoin when we're all expecting Bitcoin to go God knows where, 100,000, 200, 300,000. What's the point of buying things with Bitcoin? Right, now, very interesting what's talking about Bitcoin. China's Hebei province has joined other regions to clamp down on Bitcoin mining activities. This is smoked already. Fine, they're going to move to Europe. They're going to move to America and open mining farms from there. China, that's your loss, basically. It's not anyone else's. The number of new Ethereum addresses, and this is where it gets very, very interesting, created in 2021 has grown to about 23% of the network's entire wallet addresses.
That is
that's
very
big.
interesting.
And also over the past year, the rate of Bitcoin adoption in Africa has grown by 1,200%.
I wonder where.
Check this out. Speaking of adoption, Bitcoin payments are on the rise with companies like PayPal and CoinSpade taking the lead. People are actually getting tricked, from my point of view, in paying with Bitcoin.
Fully understand. I fully understand and I agree with you. Because
Man,
obviously
listen,
the thing is,
I pulled
it's
my hair out
value.
once. Yes, I pulled my hair out once. Yeah, and there's the proof. When I was talking about Bitcoin. Okay, I'm not going to do it again. But more people will probably end up like this if Bitcoin will go to 100,000 or 200,000. Imagine this scenario, Reiaan. What's Bitcoin now? 45K, let's say. Yeah? Let's say you want to purchase a Tesla, whatever, and you negotiate with Elon Musk. Yeah, because you're a South African, he's South African, you know how it goes. And he's going to agree to sell you a brand new Tesla for 45K. Yeah, you give him one Bitcoin for it.
Oh, no.
Fine. You enjoy your car. Yeah, it's fine. Next week, you see Bitcoin going to 100,000.
Oh, that's double the amount. That's painful.
Are you going to pull your hair out?
That would be painful.
Do that?
Yeah, that's why I don't have hair anymore, because of China.
You pull your hair out as well.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, so this is what's happening with the markets, man. Yes, the adoption of Bitcoin and blockchain and other coins, I'm more than happy with it. But man, come on. Why do we have to speed up this process of paying, with something that's so unstable still?
It's true, and there's only a certain amount of Bitcoins that will be mined, as they say. It makes sense. Why do you have to pay with it?
Exactly. What's the point? Listen, if you own Amazon or Microsoft stocks, and you want to buy a flat, and I'll make you a deal. I'll give you my flat in Cape Town, let's say, with a nice view of Table Mountain and everything, and you give me your Microsoft shares or Amazon shares.
That makes sense.
Does it? Let me show you something. I wanted to show you Tesla, but no, I'm not going to show you Tesla. Amazon. Right. Amazon on a monthly chart. Okay. Let's say, so we know stocks, just like cryptocurrencies, are designed to go up by nature.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So we see Amazon, growing and growing and growing. If in 2013, Amazon was trading at $370, Today, Amazon is trading at $3,395. So,
Imagine.
if we would do the exchange here, yeah, and as soon after I give you my my flat in Cape Town and you move in, yeah, we see Amazon going from 2,000 to 3,399.
Oh, in a space of how many? How many months?
6 months, 3 months, 1 day, it doesn't matter. This is what I'm telling you. It doesn't make sense to swap, to exchange something like stocks and Bitcoin, which is supposed to go up in value, with something that you don't know if it's going to go up in value or not.
Maybe the person got something in the ear to say that the stock is going to drop or something.
Exactly. Right. Right. Let's see what's happening in El Salvador. More than 500,000 users have downloaded El Salvador's Bitcoin Chivo wallet. That means you have more than 500,000 people living in El Salvador. A Swiss Forex bank has predicted that Bitcoin could set a new high by mid-November. Aha, there we go. So, why would you buy a Tesla now with a Bitcoin when everyone is saying that Bitcoin might go up in value?
Sure. Doesn't make sense at all.
Since Ethereum's London hard fork went live, the network has burned over $1 billion worth of Ethereum. This is another great news that we had. Well, we knew that was coming, so there's no surprise. A top Canadian politician has voiced his support for Bitcoin as elections draws close. Yeah, good one. I don't know in times like this. I don't know if he supports Bitcoin or not, but it's definitely a good election hook.
It is, but that is what the youth, and normally the youth don't vote. They don't vote.
And let me tell you something about South Africa. According to a recent study, about 25% of South Africans hold Bitcoin.
I wonder who.
The 25% ones that can afford it, most probably.
I think it's more to do with putting money outside of the country. A lot of South Africans are actually leaving the country, throwing money outside of the country. That has been the norm for the last, I would say, 5 years or so, or 10 years or so. So it's a lot of things that are going on.
I know, but does it make sense that it could be that there is an interest, okay, regarding cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, blockchain technology, and so on?
Absolutely. There is actually a huge interest as well.
Okay, there we go. In this case, I rest my case. Right, let's have a quick look at a very interesting coin that just appeared. There we go.
Oh,
Doge Drink. Doge Drink. A new coin, yeah, that resembles the Dogecoin, the useless coin that Elon Musk managed to pump to the moon and back. So, Doge Drinks aims to disrupt the soft drink industry by leveraging decentralized finance. Check this out. So, there's a new company, basically, yeah. Doge Drinks is a company-backed soft drink brand. This is designed to support the modern lifestyle based on organic superfood ingredients. It serves as both a reflection token and soft drink at the same time. Right. The company aims to bring more people into the captivating and exciting world of cryptocurrencies. And yeah, there's no better way than starting with a drink. They hope to achieve this by utilizing blockchain technology to create tangible products that people can and will interact every day of their life. The founding team of Doge Drinks believe that the true value of any cryptocurrency depends on its connection to the real world. Well, yes, of course. Right. According to the white paper, the core value of Doge Drinks is to support the healthy lifestyle of people and to help them enjoy better health through functional drinks. The team behind the company is made of active executives, creatives, and scientific researchers from the global soft drink industry. Doge Drinks is bringing disruption to the global trillion-dollar soft drink industry. The company is offering natural, prebiotic, antioxidant, plant-based ingredients, unlike what has been obtainable in the past. Some of the products include Doge Energy, Doge Relax, Doge Sleep, and Doge Focus. Come on, let's get serious, Reiaan. What?
No, man, there are coins for everything. I'm sure there's a coin for water as well.
Yes, you have Bible coin, God coin, Jesus coin, and all, or Jesus coin. Yeah, it depends where you're from. Right, there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, basically, this is how you get listed. If in the past you had the stock exchange offerings,
Right.
yeah, now you have the initial coin offerings, which basically help someone with a brilliant idea like these guys raise capital. Okay, it's good.
It is.
I would ask them why Dodge drinks.
It's just the name with Elon Musk. But normally, what I know, if there's an oversupply of something, then normally people leave it alone, and then the prices go down. It for me, it's just really not good to have all these type of coins. Sushi swap. Now you have dog, whatever.
Why?
It's just becoming too much.
Hold on a minute. So are you saying, looking at the stock markets, there's no point having companies like that list now? Yeah, like, I don't know, let's say Starbucks for argument's sake, or McDonald's or something. There's no point because there are already a lot of companies in the stock market?
No, I'm not saying that. But at some point, the market is going to clean himself up. Because
No.
you can have a lot of different takeaway stores, and not a problem. But at some point, the human being is going to decide where he wants to eat. And if you are not good, you're going to get cleaned up.
Exactly, like it happens with the stock markets. But the good thing is, once the companies get listed and they advance, very few of them will fail. Now, in the eventuality, in the very likely probability, let's say, that we're going to have saturated crypto markets, we're going to have crypto indices. Yeah, it's very similar to the S&P 500, to the DAX. Yeah, which will be weighted based on either market cap or daily trading volume or different functions. But still, this industry is here to stay.
Absolutely.
And it will stay for a lot of time. This is basically the new thing that's going on. Right, let's take another 30 seconds, and then we're gonna come back with the price action and see how the markets are trading 1 hour into the 1 hour and 10 minutes. No, half an hour. What am I talking about? We are live for 1 hour and 10 minutes. The markets are only open for half an hour. So half an hour into the US trading session, and we're gonna see how the markets perform. Stay tuned, guys. Right, and we're back, beautiful people. Half an hour, 40 minutes into the US trading session on this beautiful Monday, 20th of September. Let's see what's happening with the price of the most traded assets. We're looking at crude oil WTI trading at $70.78. Nothing notable has happened since the US markets open. If anything, we see a rejection from that 50 moving average. Okay, that's preventing the price from trading higher. Right, let's have a quick look at the euro, see what's happening with the euro. Oh, there we go. We have a bug on the charts. Okay, probably that bug will be there forever. There we go. Let me see if I can get rid of it, because this is... No, it won't allow me. Okay, no problem. We can still do it. So half an hour, 40 minutes into the US trading session, we're looking at the euro trading to the upside versus the US dollar, flirting with that 50 moving average to the upside, 117.21 for Bitcoin. Let's see if the candlesticks will settle above that yellow line in the next hour or so. Very, very likely we're gonna see a retest of that 200 MA to the upside at 117.64. But for now, 117.20 is the current market price. We are exactly 44 pips away from the target price. Let's see what's happening with the pound, trading to the downside and accelerating that downtrend. 40 minutes into the US trading session, 136.69 for the pound and dropping, with RSI stochastic both pointing to the downside. The US dollar undecided. We saw what looked like the beginning of a correction, a very shy correction for the USD JPY, 109.61. Right now, there's more potential to the downside than to the upside, to be honest, but we shall see what's going to happen in the next hour or so. The Aussie dollar turning around from that retest of the 50 moving average, 0.7250, pointing downwards. We can see the RSI turning around and pointing to the downside, and the same is stochastic. USD CAD getting ready for another rally after settling above the 50 MA, 128.22, with the RSI stochastic pointing to the upside. And if we look carefully at the relative strength index towards the bottom of the chart, we can see that it was in an uptrend and it did not manage to fall below the 50% mark, which usually indicates a continuation of the uptrend. The S&P 500 seems to be trading to the downside after a big gap at the opening, which sent the S&P lower 1.4% from its closing price on Friday, 4,367.30 for the S&P 500, and the Dow Jones as well seems to be trading to the downside today, continuing the sell-off at $34,112.93. The US dollar index seems to be consolidating somehow above the 50 MA, 93.31 for the US dollar index, and gold futures seem to be heading to the upside. Yes, somehow retesting that 200 MA at 177.045. Meanwhile, Bitcoin trading to the downside, $43,940 and losing over $4,000 since Friday. And Ethereum again is trading just above the $3,000 mark, $3,069.55. But we see a red candlestick, which might point to further weakening of the price. This is what's happening on the markets. Interesting Monday so far. What do you reckon?
Really interesting with the reversal of the United States dollar. That for me is actually surprising. I was checking now the charts out. One moment the dollar was on fire, especially in the London session, and now there was a heavy pullback. If you look at the Australian US dollar, USD CAD, you just see one hell of a pullback in it. And I wonder where will the market end up on the end of the day.
Well, if you're curious to know where the market will end up towards the end of the day, stay tuned, because I'm going to be live for 2 more hours and I'm going to be presenting you these lovely charts every 15 to 30 minutes. It depends if you behave or not. Right, Reiaan, you're going to have Money South Africa this evening in a couple of hours from now. What have you got prepared for us today? Don't spoil it. Just,
Property market. And one hell of a story with someone who started actually his own company. And for where he comes from, rag to riches, and how he got there. It's an amazing story.
All right. Right. I'm looking forward to that. We're going to have Brad Alexander joining us for the week ahead. We're going to have Brad's eye view on the most traded assets for the week ahead. So very interesting technical analysis done by Brad Alexander. You don't want to miss this one. I don't even want to miss this one.
Definitely.
Right. So, Reiaan, I'll see you in a couple of hours. With your very special guest. I'll let you get ready for it. I'll let you get the guest ready for it. Okay, and I'll see you in a couple of hours.
See you later.
Right, take care. Right, ladies, gentlemen, traders, we had a very interesting opening today. I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm going to be here with you for another hour or so. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to have some stocks we're going to have a look at. We're going to see the most traded stocks, top performance, top losers, and more news as they come along. We're going to take a few minutes for me to catch my breath now, but don't go anywhere. I'm going to come back live in a few minutes with more stock news, and soon enough, we're going to have Brad Alexander and Reiaan Hobson starting their daily shows. Right, this is it, guys. Stay tuned. I'm coming back live in just a few minutes from now.
Discover how some of the top executives are trading their own companies with our Insider Trades tool. See who's been buying or selling stock and what their trades say about insider sentiment. Use this unique big data tool to make more informed stock trades. That's higher trading from MarketsX.
Hi, my name is Brad Alexander, and I'd like you to join me every Monday at 1700 London time for Brad's Eye View here on Financial News. This will be an interactive hour with opportunities for you, the trader, on FX, commodities, and indices, and maybe even a bit of crypto if they let me. See you then.
InstructFX is providing free consultation and free education, not investment advice, guys. We are not giving investment advice.
This is where the problem lies. Is
Bitcoin fixes this problem.
Wow. Binary options, when they came out, were actually, I believe, a legitimate investment or trading vehicle.
The United States that's actually looking at it. So it's all about having some framework for electronic monitoring of systems. That is very important.
For me, that is where the difficult question is going to come in, under what asset class is going to fall under.
And that's, there's a lot of good people there, but there are a lot of people who are sitting, taking it easy.
It will just get messed up. Also, look where we are now. They're printing the hell out of the dollar. All of them were messed up.
It's been like Scotland the last 2 months, I tell you. It's been raining literally every day until 3 days ago.
This is where the problem lies.
So naturally, yes, we will still see these crazy moves.
Yes, regulations needed, it's welcomed.
Retail traders don't necessarily understand the big volatility, trading 1 to 5 leverage, and accounts get blown up. So
all of them were messed up.
And also, as I say, as the pension funds and all the asset managers come in, and the real retail money, they're going to come in a safer environment.
Bitcoin fixes this problem.
Necessarily understand the big volatility, trading 1 to 5 leverage, and accounts get blown up. So B-book brokers love it.
Are we going to do both? Are we going to just migrate to cryptos? What's going to happen next?
This is where the problem lies.
Bitcoin fixes this problem.
This is where the problem lies.
Bitcoin fixes this problem.
This was it from my side today. Join me again tomorrow for a new round of market talks. If you like what you see, like, share, subscribe, and support us in delivering more great content. And remember to trade responsibly, and may all your trades be in the money.
Go interactive with X-Ray, where we bring trading experts to you live in the platform. Choose sessions, watch live market analysis, and catch up on your favorite market insights anytime. Ask questions and go one-to-one with leading experts on gold, oil, FX, crypto, indices, and equities. X-Ray, your very own analysis team, right at your fingertips. That's higher trading from MarketsX.
Hi, my name is Brad Alexander from FX Large, and I'm sitting here in front of a picture of the City of London. I get asked by brokers all the time, why use video? What's the point? Well, let's start with what. You've got webinars, market updates, platform education, and trader education with quizzes, all designed to attract, motivate, and retain your clients. So, why is this better than any other medium? Let's take a look. Video produces far higher click-through rates and share rates in emails and social media campaigns. Viewers are 10 times more likely to comment, embed, engage, and share a video than any other type of content. 65% of viewers will click through to your website. Video added to your website can increase the chance of a front-page Google result by 53 times. Videos on a landing page can increase conversion by 80%. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. Think about it. Also, 50% of searches are done on mobile phones. Lengthy text is not always easy to read on a smartphone. Videos, especially videos with captions, are the perfect medium for smaller devices. I could go on, but I'm following my first rule of production: keep it short. To summarize, increase your market penetration dramatically with videos in your campaigns. Make your salespeople more effective and professional armed with videos to close the deal. And let's not forget customer support, who can cut out hours of phone calls and emails with simple how-to videos. If you want to learn more, just click here and I'll see you on the inside.
Right, and we're back, beautiful people. We're exactly 1 hour into the U.S. trading session. We saw a big sell-off happening on the markets today. We saw a sell-off happening in the cryptocurrencies markets over the weekend, with Bitcoin losing over $4,000 in just 2 days, and Ethereum giving back about $700 as well. Let's have a quick look at some charts and see what has happened with the crypto markets in the last hour. We're going to look at top gainers and top losers in the crypto markets since the U.S. markets have opened. TrueFi shows us a gain of 6.02% 1 hour into the U.S. trading session. Rari Governance is showing us a gain of 5.9%. Celo gained 4.4%. Fetch AI 4.1% gain. Deriva DAO gained 3.17%, Quant 2.6% gain, and Alchemy Pay gained almost 2.5% in the last hour or so. Let's have a quick look at the top losers in the last hour. We see a lot of names giving back some gains. We see Ample Fourth Governance Token giving back 2.5% 1 hour into the U.S. trading session. Barnbridge lost 1.69%, almost 1.7%. 1.7% for Barnbridge. UMA lost 0.7%. Monero 0.7 drop. Brain Trust pulled back 0.67% in the last hour. Curve DAO lost 0.6%. LivePeer 0.63% drop. Enzyme 0.6 on the dot, and DFI Money also lost 0.54%. We see a bit of a meltdown happening in the crypto markets as well. Now let's have a quick look at some very interesting stocks, guys. And what was the investing.com's stance on the stocks before the opening bell? And then we're going to have a quick look at the stocks after the opening bell and see what's going on. Tesla dropped 2.4% after the National Transportation Safety Board Chief Jennifer Homendy criticized the company's rollout of driver's assistance software in an interview with the Wall Street Journal, saying that the electric car maker needed first to address safety deficiencies in its full self-driving technology. Colgate-Palmolive also rose 0.1%, outperforming the wider market after Deutsche Bank upgraded its stance on the consumer products maker to buy from hold, saying the market has missed the company's turnaround. Another interesting stock to keep an eye on is Pfizer, guys, which fell 1.4% after the drug maker said its COVID-19 vaccine induced a robust immune response in 5 to 11-year-olds, and it plans to seek authorization for use in the United States, Europe, and elsewhere as soon as possible. CVS Health fell 1.5%, outperforming the wider market after announcing it will fill as many as 25,000 clinical and retail jobs after the flu season, and as the United States prepares to administer a booster COVID-19 vaccine shots. AstraZeneca rose 1.3% after the UK drug maker announced that its breast cancer drug Enhertu showed positive results in a late stage trial, and Netflix fell 0.9%, outperforming Walt Disney, which dropped 2%, following the 73rd Emmy Awards, with the streaming service winning more Emmys than any other rival network or platform for the first time ever. Okay, so these are the top 5-6 stocks to keep an eye on this beautiful Monday. Don't forget, guys, usually things tend to turn around, okay, 1 or 2 days into the week. So if we're going to see a big sell-off happening today, and if the sell-off will continue tomorrow, then keep an eye on the markets and get ready to buy the dip. As we saw in many occasions that after 1 or 2 days, beginning of the week of the stock market moving one direction, it can easily change direction, and close the week in green. For example, if it started the week in red. This is what's happening with the markets. Let's have a quick look at another article provided by investing.com until Brad Alexander will join us with his view for the most traded assets for this week, which is very interesting. Meanwhile, if you have questions, guys, don't forget to type your questions and interact with us. Let us know if you're struggling with anything, if you're looking to get into online trading, or if you're doing it for years. Share your experience with us. You can join me live any day you want. Just give me a heads up and we're going to make it happen. Also, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and support us in delivering more great content, guys. We are here for you. We're doing this for you and to try to help you understand how the markets work. Now, quick look at another interesting article regarding the stock markets. The U.S. stock markets tumbled at the open today on a combination of worries from China's mounting debt problems to the outcome of this week's policy meeting of the Federal Reserve. We saw the Dow Jones Industrial Average trading down almost 500 points, or 1.4%. At the opening, the S&P 500 was down 1.5% at a 2-month low, and the Nasdaq Composite was also down 1.6%, a hefty 1.6% at 1-month low. The market sentiment has clearly deteriorated in recent days, with a series of warnings about a possible correction from the likes of Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley, the two biggest investment banks in the States. The latter's analyst said in a note to clients over the weekend that they see an increasing risk of 20% drop in the S&P 500 against a backdrop of gradually tightening monetary policy and the withdrawal of fiscal stimulus in the U.S., as well as foreign risks such as debt crisis in China and a slowdown in Europe caused by soaring energy prices. The U.S. economy is starting to slow as the sugar rush of pandemic-era stimulus starts to fade. Stronger than expected retail sales failed to convince the market last week of the consumer strength, especially after the University of Michigan's consumer sentiment survey came out on the weak side. Analysts at Bank of New York Mellon said in a note to clients that they expect the real consumer spending to slow to an annualized growth of 4.2% in the last quarter of the year, with further downgrades quite likely. They've also added that the gross domestic product is currently running at around 3.5% on an annualized basis, well below the rates seen earlier this year. Now, on Wednesday, we're going to have the Federal Reserve holding a press conference. We're going to have the new interest rate decision being announced, and the interest rate projections, for all the quarters of this year, including early next year. So very interesting what's going to happen. The expectations that the Fed will start to run down its bond purchases have also hardened. And Julia Coronado, founder of Macro Policy Perspectives, said via Twitter the other day that a majority of her survey respondents expect a strong signal from the Fed this week that it is about to start tapering asset purchases, most likely beginning of November. Well, nothing new under the sun if we think about it. It was expected to happen. It was announced. that the Fed will start tapering its bond purchases at some point this year. So, nothing new under the sun. Across the Pacific, meanwhile, the closure of mainland markets for a public holiday couldn't hide the increasing sense of panic as China Evergrande Group has the country's second largest real estate developer inches towards a likely default on Thursday. The Hong Kong Hang Seng Index fell over 3% today, with other real estate developers falling 10% or even further. This is just the beginning, said Daniel Lacalle, chief economist at Tressis in Madrid, via Twitter today. He noted that property accounts for 25% of Chinese gross domestic product, something that will make it difficult for the authorities to contain the fallout from a player of such size. Sharply raising borrowing costs for other developers have already translated into a collapse in prices for iron ore and steel, for which the property sector is the biggest consumer. U.S. steel stock was down 6.1%, while the miner Freeport McMoran stock was down 5.3%. Airline stocks were among the outperformers today after a Financial Times report claiming that the U.S. administration is prepared to lift the ban on non-essential arrivals from the European Union and the United Kingdom, ending 18 months of rupture that on what have typically been the world's busiest long-haul routes. American Airlines stock rose 0.9%, while Delta Airlines lost a relatively modest 0.5%. This is what's happening with the markets, guys. We see a lot of sell-off happening, a lot of sell-off continuing today in the cryptocurrency markets as well as the stock markets. Okay, we still see crude oil WTI trying to catch up, still trading at $70.44, 1 hour into the 1 hour and a half into the US trading session. We see the euro trading to the upside, pushing to the upside at 117.21. Sorry. The pound, which has been dropping in the last 45 minutes or so, seems to be wanting to recover, trading at 136.60. This is a sign that the U.S. markets started calming down. We see USD JPY trading to the downside, still 109.54, 1 hour and a half into the U.S. trading session. The Aussie dollar, just like the euro and the pound, seems to be wanting to trade a bit higher, 0.7255 for the Aussie dollar this afternoon versus the U.S. dollar. The USD CAD pair, which pulled back on the European trading session today, seems set to trade a bit higher, 128.19 this afternoon. The S&P 500 is trying a shy recovery, but it's miles away from recovering that hefty 1.6% that it lost today at the opening. Dow Jones Industrial Average again opened the markets with a huge gap today to the downside, $34,117.15. 1.5 hours into the U.S. trading session. We can see the Dow Jones Industrial Average looking to trade a bit higher. However, okay, just wait and see what's going to happen next. Monday is very, very dodgy when it comes to establishing a direction for the entire week. In the same time, the US dollar index is trading to the downside, 93.28, and dropping. For now, gold futures seem to be trading a bit higher and recovering from that massive sell-off that happened last week, which sent, and early this morning, which basically sent gold futures down $50 US, $1,765.60 an hour and a half into the US trading session today. We see Brent oil futures again looking to trade to the upside, $74.49 as we speak. Silver is also trying to recover somewhat, trading to the upside, $22.42 for silver. Bitcoin is still pointing to the downside, which is a bit worrying. We saw Bitcoin falling below the $44,000 mark. $43,925 is the current market price. And Ethereum is trading just above the $3,000 mark. But again, it seems to be pointing to some weakness in the markets, trading at $3,064.25. This is it for now, guys. Join me in the next few minutes. We're going to have Brad Alexander joining us and bringing us a view for the week ahead and some heavy technical analysis, guys. So don't go anywhere. We're going to have Brad Alexander joining us in about 20 minutes from now, bringing us heavy technical analysis on the most traded assets this week. Meanwhile, we're going to continue with some adverts because they keep us alive, guys. And I'm going to be back to you in about 15 minutes. This is a longer adverts run. But again, they keep us alive, guys. So in order for us to keep broadcasting, we have to run these adverts. Stay tuned, beautiful people. I'm going to come back in only a few minutes. And we're going to welcome Brad Alexander together and the week.
Discover how some of the top executives are trading their own companies with our Insider Trades tool. See who's been buying or selling stock and what their trades say about insider sentiment. Use this unique big data tool to make more informed stock trades. That's higher trading from MarketsX.
Hi, my name is Brad Alexander, and I'd like you to join me every Monday at 1700 London time for Brad's Eye View here on Financial News. This will be an interactive hour with opportunities for you, the trader, on FX, commodities, and indices, and maybe even a bit of crypto if they let me. See you then.
InstructFX is providing free consultation and free education, not investment advice, guys. We are not giving investment advice.
This is where the problem lies. Is
Bitcoin fixes this problem.
Wow.
binary options, when they came out, were actually, I believe, a legitimate investment or trading vehicle.
Wow.
The United States that's actually looking at it.
Wow.
So it's all about having some framework for electronic monitoring of systems. That is very important.
For me, that is where the difficult question is going to come in, under what asset class is going to fall under.
And that's, there's a lot of good people there, but there are a lot of people who are sitting, taking it easy.
It will just get messed up. Also, look where we are now. They're printing the hell out of the dollar.
Wow.
All of them were messed up.
It's been like Scotland the last 2 months, I tell you. It's been raining literally every day until 3 days ago.
This is where the problem lies.
So naturally, yes, we will still see these crazy moves.
Yes, regulations needed. It's welcomed.
Retail traders don't necessarily understand the big volatility, trading 1 to 5 leverage, and accounts get blown up. So,
wow.
All of them were messed up.
And also, as I say, as the pension funds and all the asset managers come in, and the real retail money, they're going to come in a safer environment.
Bitcoin fixes this problem.
necessarily understand the big volatility, trading 1 to 5 leverage, and accounts get blown up. So B-book brokers love it.
Wow.
Are we going to do both? Are we going to just migrate to cryptos? What's going to happen next?
Wow.
This is where the problem lies.
Bitcoin fixes this problem.
This is where the problem lies.
Bitcoin fixes this problem.
This was it from my side today. Join me again tomorrow for a new round of market talks. If you like what you see, like, share, subscribe, and support us in delivering more great content. And remember to trade responsibly, and may all your trades be in the money.
Go interactive with X-Ray, where we bring trading experts to you live in the platform. Choose sessions, watch live market analysis, and catch up on your favorite market insights anytime. Ask questions and go one-to-one with leading experts on gold, oil, FX, crypto, indices, and equities. X-Ray, your very own analysis team, right at your fingertips. That's higher trading from MarketsX.
Hi, my name is Brad Alexander from FX Large, and I'm sitting here in front of a picture of the City of London. I get asked by brokers all the time, why use video? What's the point? Well, let's start with what. You've got webinars, market updates, platform education, and trader education with quizzes, all designed to attract, motivate, and retain your clients. So, why is this better than any other medium? Let's take a look. Video produces far higher click-through rates and share rates in emails and social media campaigns. Viewers are 10 times more likely to comment, embed, engage, and share a video than any other type of content. 65% of viewers will click through to your website. Video added to your website can increase the chance of a front-page Google result by 53 times. Videos on a landing page can increase conversion by 80%. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. Think about it. Also, 50% of searches are done on mobile phones. Lengthy text is not always easy to read on a smartphone. Videos, especially videos with captions, are the perfect medium for smaller devices. I could go on, but I'm following my first rule of production: keep it short. To summarize, increase your market penetration dramatically with videos in your campaigns. Make your salespeople more effective and professional armed with videos to close the deal. And let's not forget customer support, who can cut out hours of phone calls and emails with simple how-to videos. If you want to learn more, just click here and I'll see you on the inside.
Go interactive with X-Ray, where we bring trading experts to you live in the platform. Choose sessions, watch live market analysis, and catch up on your favorite market insights anytime. Ask questions and go one-to-one with leading experts on gold, oil, FX, crypto, indices, and equities. X-Ray, your very own analysis team, right at your fingertips. That's higher trading from MarketsX.
Hi, my name is Brad Alexander, and I'd like you to join me every Monday at 1700 London time for Brad's Eye View here on Financial News. This will be an interactive hour with opportunities for you, the trader, on FX, commodities, and indices, and maybe even a bit of crypto if they let me. See you then.
Right, good afternoon, everyone. Once again, we're an hour and a half into the U.S. trading session. We see crude oil WTI rebounding sharply, almost $71 for crude oil WTI. But the time has come to invite the specialists to give us an overview of the most traded assets of the week for the week ahead of us. We have a big week ahead of us. We have the FOMC meeting on Wednesday, the interest rate decision, as well as the interest rate projections for the US dollar, and also other announcements. So on this occasion, please welcome Brad Alexander, CEO at FX Large, and a person kind enough to share his views of the markets with us every Monday. So without further ado, Brad, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good, Andrew. Thanks for having me again. Yeah, how are you these days?
Always good. I'm a bit worried, to be honest, seeing the sell-off that's happening on the stock markets. What's your view of this Monday for the markets? How do you see the opening?
You're absolutely right. It's a funny day. And I was on here last week saying, buy the dip, all my reports, buy the dip. Bloomberg, we're buy the dip. And now what they're saying, we're all saying, where are the dip buyers? What's going on? I think we have a good idea as to what's actually happening and why we've got to risk off. But there's a few reasons for the risk off market right now. So, but it's been a funny day. As you just said, you used the word rebound on crude. Well, everything seems to be rebounding, to be honest. I mean, I was up early this morning doing my reports and videos and so forth, and things were going in a certain direction. And you come back now, and there's been a few retracements. So, which is good for some of my trades and not good for others. So let's see what.
I know. I'm on the markets as well. So far, it's green. So far, it's green on my account. But let's see. What have you got for us today? What are the main assets you're going to be analyzing for the week? Well,
we're looking at the usual. I mean, we've got. Should we jump into a chart straight away? Yeah. Obviously, here we are. I like to work in profiles, and here's my U.S. dollar profile. And again, I was looking at this morning, and the dollar was strength. It was just simply that. And it's important to note, and we're going to get into right now, I think, why we're seeing some retracements. Last Friday, the Americans had a very good set of numbers on retail sales. So you think, okay, great, the economy's coming back, which is all wonderful. But since then, people have started to wake up to the fact that the Americans have where is it now? $3.5 trillion infrastructure package. And then suddenly Janet Yellen realizes, hey, wait a minute, we've got to redo the debt ceiling before the end of like next week, before we run out of money in October. And that's, I can't even tell you how many billions of dollars that is. So I think that's actually spooked the markets a little bit. It's got the US dollar retracing a bit, and it's certainly not helped. And you've already talked about this today. The equities markets, it's really made a risk off move. And I'm going to throw another thing into the mix, is that things are looking a bit strange in China and Hong Kong right now because of the Evergrande situation. They've got a huge property developer who may not be able to pay its debts, its bonds coming due very soon. So, that's the macro look at the situation. I'm going to give you a micro look at the situation right now. I was just out at lunchtime buying some bits and pieces, fixing some doors. And I talked to a supplier who I've known for 20 years. And he's been saying to me that the prices are just going up. His suppliers are raising prices constantly, month by month. And he says, we see no end in sight. And this is just the guy on the street. This is a small family run business. And I've talked to other people as well. And they're saying the same thing. Prices just keep creeping up. And we're noticing it. And I'm sure you notice it as well. We both live in Europe, going to the grocery store. Things are creeping up. So we are not out of the woods yet. We are not out of the pandemic scare. We all know that we've got variants that may kick us in the whatever. We've got anti-vaxxers. And in fact, I was even surprised. I'm going to talk about the Canadian dollar today. I was even surprised to see a lot of anti-vaxxer campaigning in Canada, which is not certainly in the States you'd expect it, but not so much in Canada. And things like that are making the markets look quite interesting. But let's get back to the topic at hand. If we look at the American dollar, as we can see, it's been, getting back to why it got suddenly strong, where the economy was looking good, everybody was happy, relatively speaking. Vaccines were going reasonably well. Retail sales last week were very good. And then suddenly, again, Janet Yellen pops up and says, hey, wait a minute. We've got this massive debt ceiling we need to sort out. And we've got this infrastructure package. And we're looking at numbers that we've never even comprehended before. The tens of billions of dollars that, and the guy in the street is saying, where does this all come from? Well, it's all, as it's based on, GDP and so forth. So we can borrow based on our GDP, but you're still borrowing. And so at some point, the gravy train has to come to an end. And we're all wondering when that day will come. And I'm going to jump charts, and you know exactly where I'm going now.
Might it be this Wednesday, Brad?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm just about to get into. The world's waiting for the FOMC on Wednesday, because one of the things that had helped the American dollar is that, hey, retail sales are looking good. Therefore, the Fed can get into tapering bond purchases much sooner. And that, in theory, that makes sense. But it may not happen. So let's just quickly go to a different chart. Sorry for my lack of speed here. And I think this chart tells the story. If I can get, and I've gone to the wrong one. I apologize.
There's no wrong.
Here we are here. This is
right. Yeah, if you're on the good side.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And as I was saying with the S&P and Dow Jones for months almost, by the dip. Well, now you can see that price action on the Wall Street is down below the 100-day moving average, very, very substantially below. In fact, it's hitting for support from back in July. And I think this tells the tale. It's definitely a risk-off day. Investors are going to be sitting back waiting to see what Jay Powell and crew will be talking about on Wednesday. Interest rates, tapering, and so forth. And it's not just the Americans. As we've pointed out, there are 4 major interest rate decisions due this month, and this week. And I'll get back to that in a minute. So we have, again, risk-off mood. We're waiting until Wednesday to see what happens. I mean, if you look at any pair, in fact, and let's quickly go to gold. I'll go to my metals profile. And as you just pointed out, gold has retraced. We had some rather interesting red candles. This is the 4-hour chart, by the way. So we had some rather interesting red candles. Price got down to 1750, and it's come back. But that's probably due more to the rebounding of the American dollar than any kind of safe haven trade. We could have a safe haven trade based on what's happening in China right now, but I don't know that that's going to have much of an impact until, pardon my language, the poop hits the fan. This is a family show, I know.
Exactly.
With Evergrande, so we're going to see on that. And again, it's this gold, as we know, is traded against the American dollar, and that will be affected by what happens on Wednesday. So let me just quickly take a look. I mentioned other interest rates. We're looking at this week. We've got the Swiss National Bank. We've got the Brits, the Bank of England, which is the Brits. And I don't think the Americans will be changing any interest rates either. And the Bank of Japan. For some reason, it's not on this calendar, but it's on other calendars.
It is. So, yeah, I saw it on the investing.com's calendar earlier on.
This is why I always encourage people, especially students, don't look at one calendar, look at every other calendar. I often use the MetaQuotes calendar because it's in multiple languages, and it's very often wrong. I'm sorry, my friends at MT4 at MetaQuotes. Here's a quick anecdote for you. I've got good friends at Forex Factory, and I say, why is your calendar so good? And he says, we have committee meetings every week. They sit down and they hash out, sometimes aggressively, what's red, what's amber, and what's yellow. So unfortunately, I can only get this calendar in English, and I need to do videos in other languages, but this is my go-to calendar. So here we have 8 p.m. on, and this is European time, on Wednesday. As we've said many times, we're looking at the FOMC meetings. And again, they'll be looking for hints when the interest rate rises are coming, where we're going to be, when we're going to be tapering. And a lot of people are talking about the dots. And if you don't know what the dots are, it's the dot plot. And basically, it's a survey of all the members of the FOMC as to when they think they're going to raise interest rates. So you'll have a variety of different opinions as to when and how much. And all these dots come nicely together and give you an idea of when the Fed might be raising interest rates. So that will obviously affect the American dollar. If the dots are coming in a bit sooner, then the dollar will get stronger. If they're hinting at not diminishing taper or tapering soon, then that'll make the dollar a bit weaker, and vice versa. So we're all on the edge. And again, I'll repeat, you've got mixed signals. You've got great retail sales last week, and then we've got the debt ceiling coming up. So I don't envy Jay Powell's job right now, but let's see what they come up with on Wednesday.
By the way, quick one. Have you heard of the situation that the UK is supposedly in, that they're running out of workforce and apparently they have a major food crisis?
Absolutely. And there's one more thing as well. A lot of the energy companies are almost insolvent. They're looking for bailouts from the government. So this is why. And in fact, in fact, that's a really good point. I was going to show this a few minutes ago. Let's go back to our little profile of the US dollar. And you'll notice one interesting thing. We talked about retracements. Pretty much everything is retraced except for pound dollar. The pound is still sinking. And yeah, they've got some interesting things happening in the UK.
So apparently this Brexit that was long awaited and overdue didn't really do much favors to UK.
Yeah, well, it's like anything. You've got these trade deals that will take years and years to negotiate. So it wasn't like they're going to pop into Brexit or pop out of the European Union and instantly have success. I mean, these deals take forever to, I'll give you an example. Canada and the European Union took seven and a half years to hash out their trade deal. You know, at one point, the Minister of Trade literally walked out of the room, and about 2 years ago, because she got fed up with one district in Belgium, and they got it together. But it took 7.5 years. So these things take time. And also, let's face it, the UK came out of the European Union ready to do business, and suddenly, wham, we all got hit by this lovely, joyous pandemic, which, never helps anybody. So, and then the UK was really badly hit hard by the pandemic. And I hate to say it, because Boris Johnson didn't really react that quickly. On the other side of the coin, they've come back and become one of the top countries with vaccinations. But as you just said, they've got other issues now. So, you can't win these days. It seems you've either got good news on the one hand and two bits of bad news coming after you. So yeah, this again, taking a quick look at that chart. As I said, the dollar's rebounding. These are all 4-hour charts, except against the pound. Let me just quickly take a look and see if I actually I do have a pound profile here. I've had to rebuild my MT4 recently because so we've got the pound going down against the euro as well. Yeah, it's just, so this is a daily chart. Let me just that green candle on euro pound, that pretty much tells the story. The pound has been getting weaker against the euro all day long, or even more than all day long. So and again, as I mentioned, from a personal note, I generally get paid more in pounds, and I live in I spend euros. So this is not good news for me personally.
You might want to consider changing to Bitcoin.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. Yeah, that's a great idea. I'm sure Reiaan will be on the same page as you when he advises me which currency.
Oh, hold on. He learned a new coin. We had a live debate on Friday about the markets, and neither him or Tyron were really into the crypto sphere. And I gave him a short lesson about cryptocurrencies, help them understand the basics. And now Reiaan is passionate about one coin. It's called a sushi swap.
Now you're making me hungry. I don't know.
Listen, everything you see or we do here does not represent investment advice nor solicitation to buy or sell cryptocurrencies or
buy
contracts.
And sell sushi. I'm going for dinner tonight. You have convinced me. That's about it. Funny you mentioned Brexit, because I was thinking today about Theresa May. Bless her socks, probably could have been a very good prime minister, but was not the person to guide the UK through Brexit. And she said, "Hey, we've got a strong government right now. Let's have a quick snap election and shore up our majority." And that was in hindsight, a massive mistake. Well, we've got something happening very similarly right now, and I'm going to go quickly to my CAD profile.
Go on, because we have the elections tonight. in
Exactly.
Canada.
Yeah. So Justin Trudeau said, "Hey, this is great. We can really shore up our majority. Canadian economy is doing well." And the time it took to announce that election until very recently, things have turned a bit sour. And you see the Canadian dollar, is really not doing that well. It as well has rebounded a bit today. I think as well. In fact, we know exactly why, because, and I'll show you why in a second. But just doing a bit of research. I mean, I'm Canadian, but I don't follow too much in Canadian politics. But I really think it's entirely possible that he may have made a massive mistake in calling this snap election, because there is a lot of support for the Conservative. Just so you know that the structure of the Canadian government is very similar to the UK, and the parties are sort of similar. You've got the Conservatives, they call the Tories, just like in the UK, and you've got the Liberals, which is not quite as far left as Labour in the UK, but they are, a bit left wing. And you have another party called the New Democratic Party. So you've got a very similar three-party system. But it's the same as any government. If the Conservatives suddenly find themselves winning, you'll find the Canadian dollar getting stronger. I mean, Conservatives are typically pro-business, and Liberal are like Labour in the UK.
And what's the parity right now? Conservatives versus Liberals?
Well, when Justin Trudeau called the election, he sort of thought, okay, we're going to clean up here and get a majority government. But I was reading news this morning. I haven't talked to my kids yet. They both live there, and it's a bit early in the morning. They live on the West Coast to get the consensus, and they're almost saying too close to call. And there are a lot of people who are. I mean, let's face it. Everybody's tired from Brexit. Brexit from COVID. Whether you're a liberal or conservative or a new Democrat in Canada, you're like anybody else on the planet. You're bloody tired, and you may just decide to vote against the incumbent, and that's always a danger, and I think that may happen tonight. So and then again, you could have another Liberal government with a minority. You could have a Conservative government with a minority, or you could have a complete whitewash landslide either way. We just don't know. There really isn't, but that's something to watch out for. The Canadian dollar, if you're going to be trading it tonight, watch your volatility, and there could be some good opportunities there.
That would be my question. What should we expect from the USD CAD pair in the next 24 hours, let's say? Looking at it now on my screen.
There are two things that are going to affect it: the elections, obviously, and the price of crude. I mean, as we know. Let me, go ahead and show you. I've got a chart that I like to play with. I show this very often. I'm going to have to just create it now very quickly. So we've got dollar CAD on the 4-hour. I'm going to drag that across. And I've got US oil cash on the 4-hour. Sorry about this. Let's get this together.
No, it's interesting. It's always interesting to see how people handle their MT4s or MT5s.
Yeah, I do this a lot. I mean, you see my videos. I show the Canadian dollar, dollar CAD, especially against crude, and you can painfully, obviously, see a lot of the correlations that you get, and you've got one today. You've got this little pullback here on crude, as you mentioned earlier. Oops, I'm going to look at the wrong chart. So we've had crude dropping for a while. We as you say, it's gone from 72.80 down to, and this is the cash price, by the way, down to just over $70. And then we had the exact same inverse correlation, as we say, with the Canadian dollar, and it's a very common thing to see, because with the tar sands in Alberta, Canada exports a heck of a lot of oil. Unfortunately for Canada, it's probably one of the most expensive way to make oil, so they need to have the prices higher to make any decent profit. I know Canada's been trying for decades to get away from being a comm doll, getting into tech and banking and so forth, which they are, obviously. But let's face it, the Canadian dollar is still being driven by oil, and that's probably not going to change in the next little while. So to answer your question, the price of oil and the elections tonight. I think there's a bit of news that is coming on in. No, there's no major economic news except for the election today. So let's see what happens there. But again, I think Trudeau may have made a massive mistake. But again, I don't know. I'm not on the ground in Canada.
I don't go into politics when it comes to to elections and stuff. I just like to observe because I was heavily involved in the Brexit situation because I was in UK, and Brexit actually made me leave UK.
Right.
If
Okay.
I really knew it's going to take 4 years, or how long it took for them to get back on track.
I was working at the time for a financial news analytics company, and we were doing a lot of analysis of Brexit and so forth. And I remember one of our we were doing a lot of creating some very sexy algorithms, and one of our technicians in the Ukraine said, "Well, I thought Brexit was done. I thought it was over." I said, "No, it's going to go on for 2 or 3 years." And he scratched his head and thought, "Okay, fine." And I was wrong. It went on for, as you say, 4. It's still going, still going on. But we're okay. Andrew, were you in the UK during the Scottish referendum?
No.
That was obviously beforehand. That was even more fun to trade. It was up and down. And one of the things about the UK that you've noticed, and it's annoying for traders, is a lot of the big news and polls comes out on the weekends. So if you don't have your trades closed on the weekend, or if you're just gambling, and so many times you'd wake up on a Monday morning and go, "Oh my God, what's happened?" And a polls come out, and of course, the markets don't. Well, the markets aren't working on the weekend, so you have to wait until New Zealand opens with massive spreads to see any price action. Even the last election, they announced, and this is a great thing about UK elections, they announced the election like on the dot at 10 o'clock based on exit polls that Boris Johnson had won. And 10 o'clock at night, London time, is the worst time to trade Forex during the day because there's no liquidity. And a bunch of us were trying to trade, and just nothing was happening. In fact, my broker, I won't name names, actually shuts down their feed for 5 minutes at 10 o'clock every night. And I'd forgotten about that. The broker I was trading with.
Many brokerages do that, especially in times of super high volatility. Now, talking about Canada, elections, USD CAD and oil, do you mind if I ask you to do some technical analysis on a 1 hour or a 4 hour chart for USD CAD to see what should we expect from the USD CAD?
Well, let's take a look. Let me get rid of all these silly boxes here. I mean, right now, I said this morning I was doing a video, are we going to get back to August highs? And that, again, it's all down to the fundamentals. On the technical side, what have we got here? We've just, we're not even anywhere near. I'm going to contradict what you just said. I'm going to go back to the daily because I'm looking for either support or resistance or anything right now. Oops, excuse me. Because right now we're heading almost into no man's land. I mean, we've got a bit of we've got some resistance at 1.285, which came back over a year and a half ago. I could even get funky and draw some trend lines, but I'm not even sure. I would, to be honest, right now, and I'm going to say this hand on heart. You've seen my list of my order of priorities. I wouldn't even take anything that I say on technical analysis on dollar CAD to be worth it until the dust settles. And when I say the dust settle, I'm talking about the election and the FOMC, because again, we're looking at the American dollar. So we've got really nothing. Support and resistance really isn't telling us anything. We're sort of in no man's land right here. So I'm sorry to disappoint you.
It's okay. I'm used to it. Not you disappointing me. Markets disappointing me in general.
Yeah. I mean, here we have a key level. I mean, a very, very positive key, a very strong key level at 1.26, but we're nowhere near there. I mean, that's really not anything we're going to see, maybe either certainly not today or even this week. So I'm just that's
why I was asking for a 1 hour chart or a 4 hour chart.
Yeah, no, I was on the 4 hour chart to start, and I still see not even support and resistance really helping us much. We did bounce off this bit of resistance, and we've got some other key levels. I mean, if I want to go back, it's obviously too late. We had an interesting, you could either call it a pennant or maybe even an ascending triangle. No, it's probably more of a pennant, wasn't it? But that was history, and that actually worked out really well if you were paying attention. If you got you could call this, obviously in hindsight, I'm looking at it in hindsight right now, a bullish symmetrical pennant. Hindsight's always great when you're trading, and that's where it worked out. I mean, my personal feeling, Andrew, right now is because we've had such this big bull move to the upside, fundamentals happening, I'm going to hold off on anything technical until the dust settles. And again, probably more driven by the price of crude right now.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. There is a lot of pressure on the USD CAD and on the US dollar in general this week. What else? What gives us a bit of hope? USD, Euro USD, USD JPY. What gives us a bit of hope if we want to take trades in the next couple of hours, let's say?
Yeah, exactly. I was looking, in fact, let me go back to my US dollar profile. And what's interesting to me, I was talking about this retracement of the US dollar. Well, and dollar yen is actually dropping as well. So we've got some interesting. In fact, I have to share. You know, I did short this, so I'm quite happy with my dollar yen trade right now. And
well done.
Obviously, these red candles make me very happy. From a technical standpoint, I'm looking at the stochastic oscillator here, so we may have a turn. Again, this is the 4-hour chart. So we've got some interesting range trading happening here with dollar yen. So we've got two. And again, I think the yen got stronger based on the safe haven trade, because you've got things happening in China. You've got, as I'm beating to death the debt ceiling and other things that are happening around the planet. So you've got the safe haven trade, and the same thing is happening with dollar Swiss right now. So these are your opportunities. Well, you've got the same action, but you don't have a range. You're still sort of in bullish territory here.
Yeah, but in times like this, I'd be tempted to go for the previous low or the previous high.
Yeah. I mean, here you've got a good opportunity, and this is where I would do it. I'd wait. This is the daily chart. Wait until dollar Swiss gets back to this trend line, but that could take a long time. I'll go back to dollar yen. I mean, that again, I was looking at. I've got some trades open right now, and this is my biggest trade right now is dollar yen. I'm seriously into profit, and that was simply a short. We've roared past this this level of support, and our next level below is going to be somewhere. We've got a bit of a mix here. 109. So you've got back in August, you've got 109.25, and you've got 109.3. So we're in there somewhere. In fact, that's where to be honest, that's where my take profit is sitting right there. So if we reach
okay.
if we reach there. I'll be a very happy man this afternoon or tomorrow, whenever it gets there.
All right. Okay. So far, so good. You see, I'm on the opposite, but I'm trading the euro and the Aussie today. I was going for the rebound, and apparently I'm getting it. I'm getting there.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I actually did. Last month, I have to say, last Monday, I actually did take two trades on buy the dip on the S&P. And it was more of a scalping short-term trade, and it did very well. I bought the dip again and failed. So, luckily I made more money on those two quickies on buying the dip last Monday than I lost on the other one. So I'm going to wait again. And again, it's the fundamental story. I'm still interested in going long on one of the U.S. indices, but probably not today. I'm going to be waiting to see where we go from here. Let me just quickly go back to that. And again, this is not trading advice. This is just Brad's eye view.
Then I want to share something very interesting with you. I'm really curious to see your opinion on this one. Right. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
All right. Check this out.
You're in control there.
Dodge Drinks aims to disrupt the soft drink industry by leveraging decentralized finance. Okay, so it's not the good old Doge coin that we all know about. It's apparently a new coin, that's going for an ICO, I think. The Dodge Drinks company. It's a cryptocurrency-backed soft drink brand that is designed to support the modern lifestyle basic on organic superfood ingredients. There we go. What's your take on this one? Because
when I first saw that screen, I had to look at the calendar to make sure it wasn't April 1st. So
no,
it's not April 1st. It's the 20th of September. Yeah, what can you say? So it's another company who's trying to fund themselves with another coin. Okay, and I was going to say a dodgy coin, but that would be too close. That'd be too close to the mark, wouldn't it?
I said it. I couldn't help myself when I saw the article.
Dodgy coin, yeah.
But I strongly believe they could have chosen a better name for this one than Dodge Drinks.
Well, I mean, look, why not? Because I mean, as your good friend Elon Musk has been batting around the Dodge name for a while, and it's in the news. It's a meme I could say a meme stock. It's a meme instrument to trade. So why not? If you can ride the enthusiasm of Dodge coin or Dodge drinks or Dodge puppy food or Dodge Charger.
It's the second week of rebranding, and when I saw this news, I was asking myself, instead of Dodge Financial News, why not Dodge Financial News?
You've got the danger of of a collapse, and then the brand collapses as well.
I was hoping more for a 6,000, 7,000% pump and dump than for a collapse.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
So yeah, this was the news I wanted to share with you. I shared it with Reiaan earlier on, and I wanted to share it with you as well. By the way, talking about cryptos, massive sell-offs in the crypto markets in the last 24 hours. Did you notice?
Yeah, I did. I've not been, to be honest, I've not been investigating why. Yeah, share your chart with us.
It's 7.8%. So the entire crypto market on Coinbase is down 7.8%. The top gainer in the last 24 hours was a coin called Cello, that pushed up 8.2% and is now trading at €4.50. But look at this, Brain Trust, which last Friday, had a gain of 300% almost. Pulled back 22.2% today.
Profit taking, very good for them. Yep.
We saw a massive sell-off going on, because if we were to look at the gainers in the last 24 hours, there we go. We only got two. Oh my God network, basically, OMG network, 7.4%, and Tribe, which gained 2.8%. And there's nothing below this line. I'm not kidding.
Right. That's it. Just those guys.
There's nothing going on. So there is a sell-off going on the crypto markets as well. We saw Bitcoin tanking severely today on the European trading session, losing over $4,000 within 2 days, 3 days.
Yeah. Well, it could be. I mean, it could be investors just going to cash, which is never a good sign in any market.
You see a sell-off in the stock markets. You see a sell-off in the cryptocurrency markets. We see the US dollar. What is the dollar doing? Trying to sell off, kind of. We started the week right.
Yeah, it's been a funny day, interesting day. So let's see how we make out from here. I'll be doing more technical analysis tomorrow on now that when the dust settles, hopefully overnight, and I'll have some more interesting stuff for you later. But again, getting back to dollar CAD, I don't see any technical opportunities just yet. There's too much fundamental going on.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen with dollar CAD this evening after the elections, or why not tomorrow morning once the some liquidity comes on the markets, because we have 2 days or 3 days this week bank holiday in China. We have China, South Korea, and Japan. Yeah, celebrating the New Year. What is it? It just says public holiday.
I'm not sure, to be honest. Yeah, I know the markets are closed, but there's a lot of activity going on, obviously, with with the Chinese real estate market, and again, the yen is certainly active because it's getting stronger. So,
how do you see the dollar this week? The U.S. dollar index, Brad?
Just a quick one. Let's take a look and see what's happening in terms of. I think, to be honest, for the next 2 days, I think it's going to be a bit quiet because the world will be waiting for the FOMC. The only thing that will disrupt that is anything out of Congress. Like I said, I've said over and over again, Janet Yellen has said her bit. Now it's up to Congress to say yay or nay or debate the debt ceiling and the buy back better plan. That may affect the dollar, but I have a feeling it's going to be a bit quiet until Jay Powell tells us what he wants to do in the next few months, weeks. Months, most probably months. Right. Yeah. Okay, Brad, this was it. So we have a few opportunities on the horizon. We just have to it would be advisable to be cautious, at least tonight, and see what's happening with the. I think, you know how I like to trade news events. And I'm really going to be looking forward to the Swiss National Bank interest rate. Here's why, is that because the dust will have settled by Wednesday night, we'll have some strong trend directions in every Swiss pair, I hope. And what I'd like to do, as you know, is to trade counter. If I see a counter trend move with the news, and then go back with the trend when price hits either a trend line or resistance or support or whatever. And again, I'm looking at the Swiss economic news event because I'm hoping the dust will have settled by Wednesday night. And again, I've got the same opportunity on Thursday with the pound. So let's see what happens. So that's always good fun. And Jay Powell speaking again on Friday. So I guess whatever he doesn't wrap up on Wednesday, he'll let us know what's happening on Friday. We'll see.
What I'm afraid of is a 100% degrees turnover on Friday.
Yeah,
just to mess up mass trades.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's a different crowd. I mean, you've got the FOMC on one side, and then you've got the governors on the other side. So it's a complicated system they have in the States. But fortunately, over the last few years, Jerome Powell has done the right thing. Let's hope he continues to do the right thing.
Fingers crossed. Right, Brad Alexander, thank you ever so much for today. I'm going to see you in the next couple of days. Good luck tonight if you're in favor of either one of the Canadian.
Yeah, I've never been. I'm Canadian, but I've never really voted for a party. I've always voted for the guy, and I'm still in the Trudeau camp. So that's my thing. I need to speak to my kids in a little while to see how things are looking there. So.
Right. Okay, Brad. Thank you ever so much.
Thanks, Andrew.
I'll a couple of days. Have a good one. Right, ladies, gentlemen, traders, we had Brad Alexander. We're going to take 30 seconds, and then we're going to come back with a price action of the most traded assets on the financial markets on this beautiful Monday, 20th of September, 2021. Stay tuned. And we're back, beautiful people. Little over 2 hours into the U.S. trading session on this beautiful Monday, 20th of September 2021, when the DAX 30 became the DAX 40, and we saw new companies inserted into the DAX. Let's have a quick look at the price action. And in less than half an hour from now, we're going to have Reiaan Hobson joining us with Money South Africa. Very interesting show today, guys. Stay tuned. We're going to continue the stream for another 1 hour or so, and then I'm going to kiss you goodnight. But first, let's have a quick look and see what is happening with the assets. 2 hours into the U.S. trading session, crude oil WTI trading at $70.78 this afternoon. We saw mixed opening. Yeah, something that was looking to some positivity basically turns into the negative now, pushing crude oil WTI prices again towards that $70.50, which we saw earlier on. Now, the euro seems to be on the rebound on a 30-minute chart, 117.34, 2 hours into the U.S. trading session. We see the RSI stochastic turning around at the bottom of the chart. So we might see a bit of a correction in the markets. However, please remember that when the RSI usually drops below the 50% mark and stays there for some time, that is the sign for weakness in the markets. There is a bit of volatility now. Nothing really happening yet. We see the pound trading to the downside, 136.71 this afternoon, with the RSI remaining below the 50% mark. There we go. Yeah, we're looking at an RSI turning around from the 48.9%, and we can also see stochastic trading flat, and if anything more pointing to the downside than to the upside. Weak start of the week for the euro and the pound. We see the USD JPY trading to the downside, 109.47, a bit over 2 hours into the US trading session, with RSI stochastic pointing downwards. The Aussie dollar traded a bit higher after the opening bell this afternoon. 0.7257 for the Aussie dollar. We saw the euro rebounding a bit, and the pound also gave us signs of a rebound, but it continued. It tricked us by trading to the downside. USD CAD right now, we saw a weaker opening today for the USD CAD, 128.09, with apparently the US dollar strengthening minute by minute versus the Canadian dollar. Quick look towards the bottom of the chart at the indicators. Yeah, if you see the relative strength index did not manage to trade all the way down into the oversold levels. So once again, this could translate into a bit of buying power for the USD CAD pair. Now, let's not forget that we have elections in Canada this evening. So I'm not going to be surprised if we're going to see any movement at all, or I'm not going to be surprised if we're going to see a lot of movement on the USD CAD pair. Anything can happen, beautiful people. The sell-off, meanwhile, continues on the U.S. stock markets with the S&P 500 trading to the downside a bit over 2 hours into the U.S. trading session after initially opening with a massive gap to the downside. 4,357.53 for the S&P 500. We can see both indicators literally off the charts into the oversold territories. This is what's happening for the S&P 500. The Dow Jones under tremendous pressure as well. $34,045.16 2 hours into the U.S. trading session for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Again, with both technical indicators literally off the charts into the oversold territories. Apple, yeah, the big tech companies in the US. Apple still trading to the downside, $142.85. So I guess that buy the dip thing doesn't work every single time. Right, Amazon, 3,358.89, trading to the downside, again with RSI stochastic way into the oversold levels. Nvidia selling off sharply as well, $210.88. The US dollar index sold off for the last couple of hours. Currently, we see a green candlestick, which might give us a bit of positivity, a bit of good hopes for the US dollar index. Currently trading at 93.21. We might see it pushing a bit higher. Guys. I did the analysis on the US dollar index on this exact setup 4 or 5 times since Friday. I make it public. We might see the fifth leg up from Elliott waves, sending the US dollar index towards or above 93,400. Meanwhile, gold futures rebounded somehow for a couple of hours. We can see a red candlestick pointing downwards and sending gold futures again close to that 1760 or the 1750 level, which we saw hit earlier in the session today. Brent oil futures again pointing to the downside, 74.50 on the dot for Brent oil futures. Nothing big has happened. We saw a positive opening for Brent oil, mixed signals still from the markets. Silver still pointing to the downside, 22,300 on the dot for silver futures this afternoon. We see the relative strength index towards the bottom, again pointing to the downside, not making it all the way up into the overbought levels for quite some time now. So the downtrend very likely will continue for silver futures. We see Tesla again trading to the downside after opening initially with a massive gap, $727.65.99 for Tesla, but still the price is moving to the downside. I'm not going to be surprised if we're going to see Tesla trading as low as $710 later in the session today. Facebook trading to the downside, $354.01 for Facebook. 2 hours and 15 minutes into the US trading session. Alibaba still trading to the downside, 151.94. Bitcoin pointing to the downside, guys. We saw a big drop, a very shy correction, and by the looks of it, the candlesticks seem ready to tank even further. $43,856 for Bitcoin. And Ethereum seems to be following a very similar path to Bitcoin's. We saw Bitcoin giving back about $700-800 since Friday, and currently trading a bit over $3,000. $3,081.44 is the price. We see a lot of weakness in the relative strength index. Did not make it all the way up into the overbought levels, and stochastic at the bottom of the chart again. Did not make it into the overbought levels, turning around, if anything, and pointing to the downside. This is what's happening, guys. Stay tuned. We're going to come back live in about half an hour or so with Reiaan Hobson and his guest for today, and his special for today, Money South Africa. Meanwhile, like, share, subscribe, support us in delivering more great content, or drop your comments in the comments box and let us know how we're doing. What would you like us to do to help you achieve your financial goal? This is it. Stay tuned, guys. We're going to come back live in about 20 minutes or so with Reiaan Hobson and his guest for today.
Discover how some of the top executives are trading their own companies with our Insider Trades tool. See who's been buying or selling stock and what their trades say about insider sentiment. Use this unique big data tool to make more informed stock trades. That's higher trading from MarketsX.
Hi, my name is Brad Alexander, and I'd like you to join me every Monday at 1700 London time for Brad's Eye View here on Financial News. This will be an interactive hour with opportunities for you, the trader, on FX, commodities, and indices, and maybe even a bit of crypto if they let me. See you then.
InstructFX is providing free consultation and free education, not investment advice, guys. We are not giving investment advice.
This is where the problem lies. Is
Bitcoin fixes this problem.
binary options, when they came out, were actually, I believe, a legitimate investment or trading vehicle.
The United States that's actually looking at it. So it's all about having some framework for electronic monitoring of systems. That is very important.
For me, that is where the difficult question is going to come in, under what asset class is going to fall under.
And that's, there's a lot of good people there, but there are a lot of people who are sitting, taking it easy.
It will just get messed up. Also, look where we are now. They're printing the hell out of the dollar. All of them were messed up.
It's been like Scotland the last 2 months, I tell you. It's been raining literally every day until 3 days ago.
This is where the problem lies.
So naturally, yes, we will still see these crazy moves.
Yes, regulations needed. It's welcomed.
Retail traders don't necessarily understand the big volatility, trading 1 to 5 leverage, and accounts get blown up. So,
All of them were messed up.
And also, as I say, as the pension funds and all the asset managers come in, and the real retail money, they're going to come in a safer environment.
Bitcoin fixes this problem.
necessarily understand the big volatility, trading 1 to 5 leverage, and accounts get blown up. So B-book brokers love it.
Are we going to do both? Are we going to just migrate to cryptos? What's going to happen next?
This is where the problem lies.
Bitcoin fixes this problem.
This is where the problem lies.
Bitcoin fixes this problem.
This was it from my side today. Join me again tomorrow for a new round of market talks. If you like what you see, like, share, subscribe, and support us in delivering more great content. And remember to trade responsibly and may all your trades be in the money.
Go interactive with X-Ray, where we bring trading experts to you live in the platform. Choose sessions, watch live market analysis, and catch up on your favorite market insights anytime. Ask questions and go one-to-one with leading experts on gold, oil, FX, crypto, indices, and equities. X-Ray, your very own analysis team, right at your fingertips. That's higher trading from MarketsX.
Hi, my name is Brad Alexander from FX Large, and I'm sitting here in front of a picture of the City of London. I get asked by brokers all the time, why use video? What's the point? Well, let's start with what. You've got webinars, market updates, platform education, and trader education with quizzes, all designed to attract, motivate, and retain your clients. So, why is this better than any other medium? Let's take a look. Video produces far higher click-through rates and share rates in emails and social media campaigns. Viewers are 10 times more likely to comment, embed, engage, and share a video than any other type of content. 65% of viewers will click through to your website. Video added to your website can increase the chance of a front-page Google result by 53 times. Videos on a landing page can increase conversion by 80%. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. Think about it. Also, 50% of searches are done on mobile phones. Lengthy text is not always easy to read on a smartphone. Videos, especially videos with captions, are the perfect medium for smaller devices. I could go on, but I'm following my first rule of production: keep it short. To summarize, increase your market penetration dramatically with videos in your campaigns. Make your salespeople more effective and professional armed with videos to close the deal. And let's not forget customer support, who can cut out hours of phone calls and emails with simple how-to videos. If you want to learn more, just click here and I'll see you on the inside.
Go interactive with X-Ray, where we bring trading experts to you live in the platform. Choose sessions, watch live market analysis, and catch up on your favorite market insights anytime. Ask questions and go one-to-one with leading experts on gold, oil, FX, crypto, indices, and equities. X-Ray, your very own analysis team, right at your fingertips. That's higher trading from MarketsX.
Today we're going to talk about Forex trading, currency pairs, which is the first, the cheapest, and the most volatile asset class of them all. For compliance purposes, we have to read the disclaimer. All information presented during this webinar is from public sources and should be treated accordingly. Our content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take your own financial decision or independently research and verify any information that you see and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. We would like to draw your attention to the following important investment warnings. The value of shares and investments and the income derived from them can go up as well as down. Investors may not get back the amount they invested, and past performance is not a guide to future performance. Now that we have compliance out of the way, guys, we can get started with the first question. What is Forex? Forex trading is the act of buying or selling currencies. Banks, central banks, corporations, institutional investors, and individual traders exchange foreign currency for a variety of reasons, including balancing the markets, facilitating international trade and tourism, or aiming to make a profit. The market determines foreign exchange rates for every currency. It includes all aspects of buying, selling, and exchanging currencies at current or determined prices. In terms of trading volume, it is by far the largest market in the world. This is what the Forex market is, guys. The process of buying and selling currencies and making profit from the change in price. Now, this takes me to the second question. What are CFDs? What are the contracts for difference? A contract for difference is a contract between two parties, typically described as buyer and seller, stipulating that the seller will pay the buyer the difference between the current value of an asset and its value at contract time. If the difference is negative, then the buyer pays instead to the seller. The most important characteristic of trading contracts for difference is that when trading CFDs, you don't own the underlying asset. The profit is realized by predicting the future price movement up or down, which translate into buy or sell from the current market price. How CFDs work? Let's take this example. Crude oil is currently trading at $50 per barrel. I know, you wish, right? A trader opens a buy position thinking that oil price will move to the upside in the next few hours, and oil price moves to $55 per barrel within the next 4 hours. At this point, the trader who bought is in profit and can close the trade and cash out. If the trader would have opened the sell position, his position would now be in a loss, and he can either close it and accept the loss or keep the position open and hope for the price to go his way. If you have any questions, beautiful people, feel free to type your questions, and towards the end, when we have the Q&A session, I'll do my best to answer all the questions you have. Meanwhile, let's move on to Forex characteristics and understand what is happening with this asset class. Subject to regulation, the leverage in currency pairs varies between 1 to 13 Europe and 1 to 400 for offshore regulated companies. The trading hours are 24/7 almost, Monday to Friday. There is no expiry date on trading currency pairs, and a few of the advantages are: currency pairs have high leverage, allowing traders to benefit from the swings up and down every day with a very small investment. Also, currency pairs have high volatility and no expiry date, which basically means you can trade them almost 24/7, Monday to Friday. And due to the high volatility, if you're brave enough, if you have a solid trading account, and you didn't use a stop loss for some reason, and the trade moved against you, knowing the high volatility in currency pairs, you can decide to wait for the price to potentially turn around, taking your position from a loss into potential profit. Let's look at other Forex characteristics. For example, its huge trading volume, representing the largest asset class in the world, leading to high liquidity. Its geographical dispersion, which basically means you're trading all over the world. Its continuous operation, almost 24 hours a day except weekends, trading from 2200 hours GMT on a Sunday when Sydney opens until 2200 hours GMT on a Friday when New York closes. The variety of factors that affect exchange rates and the use of leverage to enhance profit and loss margins. These are a few of the Forex characteristics, guys. And the Forex, the currency pairs, is the most traded asset class in the world. Tricky question. What is the leverage? Leverage is a very useful tool that allows traders to trade multiple times the amount they deposited in the trading account. In the foreign exchange market, subject to regulation, the leverage is commonly as high as 1 to 200 or 1 to 30 in Europe. So basically this means that for every $1,000 in your account, you can trade up to $200,000 in value. How cool is that? In other words, if an asset has a leverage of 1 to 200, you will have to invest 200 times less as collateral. Now let's see who are the market participants, guys. Who is moving the exchange rate basically on currency pairs? Commercial companies, central banks, investment management firms, retail foreign exchange traders like you and I, non-bank foreign exchange companies, tourism, private businesses, money transfer, remittance companies, and bureaus the exchange. They're all participating on the Forex market. And even you, if you're getting paid on a card every month, you are participating on the Forex market. Happy Monday, Chris. Nice to see you. Happy Monday, everyone. So these are the market participants. Everyone basically is participating on the forex market, on the foreign exchange market. Some people decide to try and make some profit out of it. Others are just participants. How does it work? The logic of buying when the price is low and selling when the price is high is what drives the trading world. The practice of buying an asset when its price is low and selling it at a higher price, it's what's known as trading. And the ability to buy low and sell high requires one to be able to determine roughly when the low and the high prices for a security occur. As you can see in the example in the right-hand side, throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, we have many buying and selling opportunities. We don't have to do this every minute or every couple of hours. We can do this throughout the week or throughout the month, without basically being worried with moment-to-moment fluctuations. Here's an example. A widely traded currency pair is the euro versus the US dollar, known as Euro USD. In fact, it is the most liquid currency pair in the world because it is the most heavily traded. Let's say the quotation Euro USD is 125, which means that 1 euro is exchanged for 1.25 US dollars. And in this case, euro is the base currency and the US dollar is known as the quote currency or the counter currency. This means again that 1 euro can be exchanged for 1.25 US dollars. Or it will cost you $125 to purchase 100 euros. What do you need to trade Forex, you might ask? First of all, you need a trading account, preferably with a regulated brokerage. You need a bit of funds to get started, not the funds you need tomorrow. The funds you have on your savings account, let's say some funds, yeah, a decent amount that you're willing to lose, worst comes to worst, and it's not gonna affect your course of life. Then you need a device. You need a laptop, a PC, a tablet, or a mobile phone. You need a decent internet connection. And for compliance purposes, you're going to need a valid ID, passport, or proof of residence. You don't need a lot of stuff, do you? Basically the same things you need when you wish to open a bank account. Yeah, and you will need that valid ID or passport and the proof of residence not to be older than 3 months. Let's look at a few advantages of trading Forex online. And to play it fair, in the next slide, you're going to see some of the advantages of disadvantages of trading Forex online. So let's take this case for example. Leverage is a very useful tool that allows traders to trade multiple times the amount they deposited in the trading account. And in the foreign exchange markets, the leverage is commonly as high as 200 to 1 or 400 to 1. But in Europe, we're looking at a leverage of 1 to 30, which is still good. Basically, it means you need to invest 30 times less money to trade that position. So for every $1,000 in your account, for a leverage of 1 to 200, you can trade up to $200,000. And now look at the right side of the screen. For a position of $100,000, yeah, we're looking at collateral investment, yeah, on a leverage of 1 to 400. We're looking at a collateral investment of roughly $278. This is how much it will cost you to open a position of 100,000 on a leverage of 1 to 400. $278. Now look towards the right. Let's say for some reason you're going to go for a sell position. Yeah, from the current market price. So you see the rally that happened on the market, and you know that after every rally, you're going to have a bit of a pullback. So you might want to decide to go for a sell position at the current market price. With $250, $278, yeah, on a position of 100,000, if you're lucky, you're looking at a potential profit of over $1,000. To be precise, $1,334 if you get it right. You can also set a stop loss, so you decide the amount of money you want to lose if the trade doesn't go your way and goes against you. And you can set that stop loss anywhere you want. Yeah, from $20, $30 to $40, $50, even $100. And that's going to be the maximum you're going to lose if the trade moves against you. But if it doesn't, you're looking at a potential profit of over $1,000 with only an investment of $278. How cool is that? As I was saying, let's try and play it fair. So let's talk about a few disadvantages of trading Forex online. For example, an early or late entry could leave the trader exposed. The market is truly unpredictable, and not enough flexibility in the account could lead to heavy losses. And I'll give you an example. Look in the right-hand side of the screen. Let's say in this case, you would have opened the sell position where the red arrow is. And then the price action started moving higher, moved against you basically. That means now the funds you have in your trading account are exposed. So the more the market moves against you, the more it's going to start chewing from your funds in your balance. Now, if your trading account is healthy, yeah, you don't have much reason to be worried about. Yeah, as the upwards movement can't go forever, eventually it's going to turn around. This just means that for this particular time, you got the direction wrong. You thought it was a sell. Yeah, and you were expecting to take profit around that price. But what happened? You didn't put a stop loss, and the market started moving against you. At this point, your trading account would show a potential loss. And that loss occurs only when you close the position. While your position is open, while you still have funds in your trading account, in theory, you didn't lose anything because you're still on the market. Does it make sense? So from here, if you're lucky enough for the price to start dropping again, you can either open an additional sell position closer to the price action. Yeah, you can wait for the price to drop without doing anything. Or you can hedge your position. You have a few options. So these are the few of disadvantages of trading Forex online. Basically, if you don't know what you're doing, you're at great risk of losing a bit of money. Now let's talk a bit about price patterns to see it's not as complicated as you might think. Basically, the price pattern when trading online, here we're looking at two basic patterns, a downtrend and an uptrend. And the logic in trading is buy when the price is low, predicting a future movement, or sell when the price is high, also predicting a future movement. And this can happen on a 5-minute chart, on a daily chart, on a weekly or monthly chart. This is the only price pattern that you will see. A downtrend or an uptrend. The third price pattern, which you might see, is the ranging market. A trading range occurs when the asset or security trades between consistent highs and lows for a period of time. The top of a securities trading range often provides price resistance, while the bottom of trading range typically offers price support. So in times like this, you're looking, obviously you're looking at the charts on a higher time frame, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or above. You're going to highlight the average highs and the average lows, and you're going to try and take advantage of the swings that happen. This example, for instance, is on a 30-minute chart. So every green or red candlestick represents 30 minutes. So you have many opportunities of buying and selling as long as you know the price pattern, the average highs and the average lows, and how long it will roughly take for the price to go from A to B. Once again, guys, if you have questions, type your questions and let me know. Let's have a look at some trading strategies now. How can you trade? Very simple. You choose the direction, up or down, buy or sell, where you think the price will move in the near future, in the next few minutes, in the next few hours, why not, maybe in the next couple of days. You can hedge your positions, opening a buy and a sell in the same time, although I wouldn't recommend it for beginner traders. You need to know how to hedge. And also, take profit and stop loss are completely optional. Again, I would encourage, especially beginner traders, to use a stop loss at least until they understand how things work. Right, let's look at some more trading strategies. How does it work when you look at a chart? Let's start with a simple overview of the charts. So now you're gonna be trying to buy the dip, buy the correction. So a buy position is taking when the trader considers the market in a trend and expects the movement to last for at least a few hours. Please note that the time frame used in this example is 4 hours per candlestick. Therefore, the movement is expected to happen over at least 2 trading days, or 5 to 7 candlesticks. The T0, 1, 2, and 3 is the target price for the asset in case we're going to be looking at a trend reversal. But your first target in a situation like this, it should be the target 0, which is half of the leg. Yeah, this is the downward leg. And if you want to buy the dip, yeah, it would be interesting to go for a very small correction, as the downtrend might continue. So as you see in the previous movements, yeah, we saw the big drop, the big leg, followed by a correction, which was about 60%, 60 to 70%, I'd say. Yeah, on the second leg, we had a correction of about 50%. So on the third leg, you might see a correction of, again, 50% or so, yeah? So you're going to set your first take profit to the upside at just below 50% correction, just in case the downtrend continues. Let's look at some trading strategies for a potential sell position now. So a sell position is taken when the trader considers the market is in a trend and expects the movement again to last for a few hours. Again, we use the 4 hours per candlestick. Therefore, the movement is expected to happen over at least 2 trading days. Here we're again 5 to 7 candlesticks. So you saw the rally, you saw the market stalling a bit at the top. Yeah, you look to the left and you see you had a previous stop there. And when the price reached that level, it got rejected to the downside. So in times like this, probably you want to get ready for a sell position, yeah, after the rally. The exact same thing that you did on the previous slide on a buy position on the downtrend. Now you're trying a sell position on the uptrend. So once again, your first take profit target could be the target 0, yeah, which is a movement of 40% of the leg to the downside. If that movement continues, then you can either lower your first take profit to T1, yeah, or even lower to T2. If the market gives you the indication that it's going to turn around, it's going to reverse. But always you have to be careful for this pullback, yeah, and a potential continuation of the uptrend. So the T0 is the most important target for traders. Now let's have a quick look at take profit and stop loss and see how most traders use it. Yeah, so TP stands for take profit, which is the target price for closing your position in profit. And stop loss obviously stands for stop loss here, which is the target price for closing your position with a bit of a loss. So in this example, once again, we're looking at the black line, yeah, the open buy line. So we saw the big drop. So in this case, we would be getting ready for a potential buy, yeah, to buy the dip. But we don't know if it's going to go all the way up, yeah, to T1, or it's going to continue the downtrend. And we're only going to be looking at a small correction towards the T0. Yeah, so that's why your first take profit usually goes closer to the price action. And on the other hand, of course, we have the stop loss at the bottom below our entry, yeah, below the open buy position. That protects our account from potential losses. If the stop loss will be hit, then your trade will close with a bit of a loss. But if the stop loss isn't hit and the price moves to the upside, then you are protecting your account against any possible losses. And also, you're getting into profit, which is good. Again, we're looking at a take profit and a stop loss for a sell position. Once again, where you see the open sell, yeah, and the black horizontal line is where, for example, I would decide to enter the market with a potential sell. Yeah, assuming that the price action will move to the downside. In that case, I'm going to move the stop loss above my entry, Yeah, just in case the price starts pushing higher. So I don't want to be exposed to a lot of losses. And I will move my take profit to the downside. Yeah, keeping a ratio of 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 between the stop loss and the take profit. If you keep this ratio, basically, even if you have only 4 out of 10 trades, winning trades, overall, you're going to break even or be in a bit of profit. So it's very important to know how to balance your stop loss with your take profit. Basically, in this example, we're looking at 3 big market trends from left to right. We're looking at a downtrend, which ends with a ranging market. And then we're looking at an uptrend, where basically the asset, the price, is looking to go back where it came from. And depending on the time frame you're using when you're looking at the charts, this might happen within a few hours, it might happen within a few days, or a couple of weeks even. Yeah, these are the market trends. Downtrend, ranging market, followed by either an uptrend or a continuation of the downtrend. In this case, if you're looking at the ranging market at the bottom, you're going to see that the charts give you an indication that the price action wants to go back up. And first indication is that if here at the bottom we reached the average lows, here we didn't reach the average lows anymore. And here we didn't reach the average lows either. So we're looking at higher lows. Okay, and that's an indication that the downtrend might end and we might see the beginning of an uptrend. And in this case, it was 100% correct. Yeah, we saw the market creating higher lows, higher highs, and recovering from the loss we saw here in the left-hand side. It's very important when you look at the charts to have a generic view of the charts on a bigger time frame, like 1 hour, 4 hours, or daily. But then once you get the big picture and you want to calculate your entry, you go on a lower time frame. To avoid the potential drawdown. This is what's happening in the markets. These are the only 3 trends you're going to see: a downtrend, a ranging market, and an uptrend. It's entirely up to you if you want to trade there on this tiny movement that happens over half an hour, 1 hour, or you want to trade the movement that happens over a few hours. And obviously, if you get it right, you're looking at way bigger profits. Yeah, now let's have a quick look at trading currency pairs. So basically, you're trading the direction that one currency might weaken or strengthen versus the other currency. So in this case, we're looking at the US dollar pairs, the ones that have the US dollar as the base currency in the left-hand side. So for example, if you have an indication that the US dollar might strengthen and you wish to diversify your positions, then you can open buy positions on the pairs that have the US dollar as the base. And here we're looking at USD JPY, USD CAD, and USD CHF as an example. Another example is when you have the US dollar as the quote currency. Basically, if it's placed in the right-hand side of the currency pair. In this case, if you have an indication that the US dollar might weaken and you wish to diversify your positions, then you can buy the currency pairs that have the dollar in the right. So if you're buying Euro USD and GBP USD, you're basically saying that the euro or the pound will strengthen versus the US dollar. Same applies for Aussie dollar, US dollar, and Kiwi dollar, US dollar. These four currency pairs tend to move in the same direction. And you don't have to open a huge position on one asset. You can open multiple small positions on multiple assets. And the third example, guys, if you have an indication that the US dollar might weaken again and you wish to diversify your positions, you can sell the currency pairs that have the US dollar in the left-hand side as the base currency. That's very easy to do. So either you buy the euro, buy the pound versus the US dollar, or you sell the US dollar versus the JPY, the CAD, the CHF, and so on. Now it's time for the Q&A, guys. Type your questions if you have any questions. Interact with me and I'll do my best to help. Although my presentations are quite clear and people don't tend to have a lot of questions, right, I have a question. Right, so how much do I need to start with if I want to start trading Forex? That's a good question, but that's entirely up to you. Whatever you're willing to lose, yeah, worst comes to worst. Because one of the two might happen. Either you're going to make a bit of profit or you're going to lose a bit of money, especially if it's your first time. So it's entirely up to you. You have to remember, though, leverage is involved. So the leverage will help you a bit to open positions. Do the calculation and see exactly what your leverage is and what you're looking to achieve. Yeah, I couldn't tell you an amount. You know your pocket better than me. What I can tell you is that I wouldn't start with a bare minimum. Yeah, I wouldn't go too high either if I'm a beginner trader, but I wouldn't do the bare minimum. Yeah, double the minimum if you can, or somewhere there. And then don't chase profits straight away. Understand how it works. See how the market reacts. Play a bit on the demo account. Look for a bit of assistance if you need it. InstructFX is providing free mentoring for 2 weeks to anyone that needs a bit of guidance. So feel free to talk to us and you will get a bit of guidance completely free. Right, ladies, gentlemen, traders, thank you for being with us today. If you have any questions, you can find us on instructfx.com, info@instructfx.com, or my direct email address, thechartwhisperer@gmail.com. This webinar was brought to you by InstructFX, sponsored by markets.com.
Keep your finger on the market pulse with the News Alerts tool. Stay up to date on the latest sentiment across all the major asset classes. Uncover bullish or bearish signals tied to specific assets that could be developing before major price moves, and track how news sentiment correlated with price in the past. Track the news volume on an asset, its fear index, and get a better feel for its underlying strength. All with News Alerts, your central hub for market information. That